to call the Board of Trustees, Village of Weston to order. And if we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. If we could do roll call.
Maloney.
Here.
Sagami.
Here.
Cronin.
Here.
Ermeling.
Here.
Hardinger.
Here.
Pincinel.
Present.
Wyland. Here.
All accounted for. Public comments. I've got some here. Did you want to talk? Okay, go ahead. So did you have one? Do you have one too? You just would like to? Okay. Yep, I got a couple that I'll read off here. Go ahead. Yep.
I'm Maggie Cronin from
Yep.
Congressman.
Hold on one second, Maggie. Okay, that.
Can we give him a time limit?
Yep, it's a custom of 5 minutes, no repetition. And so we'll just go with that. Yep. So we have Steve Cronin's mother here today.
Not to embarrass him, sorry.
I told him he was here and he wouldn't do it, so.
I've tried for years. I'm Maggie Cronin and I am representing Congressman Tom Tiffany's office tonight. And the Congressman has entrusted us as staff members to come to as many of these meetings as we can to let you know that our office is here for you in terms of federal grants. It's high time that north of Highway 29 gets our fair share. And right now we have gotten $1.7 million back to the constituents of our district. So we want to continue to do that. One way that we can do that is through federal grants. We can identify potential grants for you. If you have an idea, come to us. We can write a letter of support. If you have an idea, we can do a congressional research service search and find out if there are grants that would apply to you. And then we can also write a letter of support for your grant. So if there's ever anything like that, please contact our office. And then as trustees, a lot of times you hear of people having issues with federal offices, whether it be the IRS, the Social Security, the passport office. Please refer them to our office in enough time so that we can help them. We recently had last week on Wednesday, a gal that was looking at her passport flying to Paris on Friday, and her passport was going to expire within 3 months and she couldn't go. She needed an appointment at that passport office and we were able to do that. Those are just some of the things that our office can go through some of that rigmarole for you. So if there's ever anything, please don't hesitate to give our office a call. The congressman would like to do a lot of these himself, but unfortunately he's not able to. So thank you for your time.
So thank you. Nice seeing you again. Thanks. That wasn't so bad, right? Jeez.
I'm on the picture.
Yeah, eat your vegetables. So yeah. Ryan Courtright. Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Ryan Courtright, 6503 Alta Verde Street here in Weston. I'm the chicken guy, unfortunately. I guess that's what I am. The one that started off the chicken ordinance campaign and that the experiment has run its course. And if an ordinance is adopted, this is not an experiment anymore. Wausau, Rib Mountain, Eau Claire, Stevens Point, Oshkosh, Fond du Lac, Appleton, Green Bay, Shawano. They've all done it. The sky hasn't fallen. Chickens have not overrun these places. Property values have not plummeted. Madison, Milwaukee. We know that chickens in backyards are not going to cause a tremendous trouble. If I put money on it, there would be, if the ordinance passes, there'll be 10 at this point next year in Weston. In Wausau, we heard at the Plan Commission, there's 15 to 20. So I would just urge the trustees not to overthink this and see that it's been put into practice in places like Weston and has not caused a problem And I will tell you, my son couldn't be here tonight. He talked at the plan commission. He's finishing a soccer game. He would be one happy boy to bring his chickens home, which are currently living in Green Bay at my in-laws. So that's all I have. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you. Let's see, on the same vein, Kelly Marquardt? Kelly? If it's about the same and in the same for it, you don't need to repeat too much, okay?
Okay,
Okay.
well,
Your name and address for the record.
my name is Kelly Marcotte. I'm at 6302 Jacqueline Road in Weston. I really was not planning on speaking to this matter. I read on on Nextdoor this subject, and that intrigued me. I would love nothing more to grow chickens and be given the opportunity. I have a huge, terrible infestation of Japanese beetles, and nothing but spraying is, that's the only thing that really helps. And I've heard chickens will help with that. And I have a fenced in backyard. I feel like I'm a responsible homeowner. I would love the opportunity to be able to raise the chickens, have my own farm fresh eggs. I think it's a great idea. I know there's a lot of negativity and the fear in people of things getting out of control. But like I said, I feel like I'm a responsible homeowner. I've said a nice fenced in backyard, and I feel it's a great opportunity for a homeowner like me.
Thank you, Kelly.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Let's see, Joe. Just state your name and record for the.
Joe Mazanuski, 5803 Mary Lane. I wanted to take 5 minutes to ask a few questions and give a few points and a little summary of what's going on with our area there before. I don't know if you want me to do that now or when that subject comes up.
Yep. Do you want? It's 35. It might be more in the context of that with all the discussion too. Is that
I can wait.
either way? Okay.
Okay,
Thanks, Joe.
thanks.
Let's see. I've got Ed Swink. Just state your name and address for the record, Ed.
My name is Edward Swank. My address is 4311 Schofield Avenue. I'm not up here to talk about the chicken thing, although just to touch base on it, I went to the grocery store last week and bought a package out of the freezer department. The Pick and Save said contains one full chicken. If you follow my Facebook page, you'll notice it had 15 legs in it, no chickens. I was quite comical. My thing here is about, first of all, and most importantly, we want to commend the board and everybody in Weston for doing what they have for us in Stillwater Landing. We have noticed some improvements. Upon the last meeting, there was an arrest made in the park. And apparently the person that was arrested seems to think that me and my girlfriend are responsible for it. So we're dealing with a lot of this running around with this truck late at night. Seems like every night right after we shut the lights off, that truck's sitting in front of our house. It's become a very big concern because of the fact that when he drives through there during the day and sees us, they literally tip their glasses down and look over their glasses at us, and stare at us and everything. That's becoming a little unnerving because we're elderly folks and we shouldn't have to live in fear or concern that something's going to happen with or without us being there. Other than that, we appreciate everything, like I said, that you guys have done. I don't know who I need to talk to about that.
I'll pass it on to EPD.
Okay, well, I do intend to also meet with Sam, the new manager over there. Him and I have built up a camaraderie, and he seems to be genuine about helping us get this park on track. So thank you again, guys.
Thanks, Ed. Thank you. Okay. I've got let's see, I've got some emails here that were printed off today. Let's see. On the chicken ordinance, I have one from Kevin Keller in opposition. I have one from, let's see, the Wyrolls, Linda and Brad Wyroll in opposition. Let's see, those are the chicken ones. And let's see, I've got actually, I'm gonna read this one when we get into Dominica. That's from Heath Taffy. And then to follow up Ed Swank, I have a Susie Kether. And she just responded several times today with some emails. And for the record, I just have those here. They've gone through staff and they've gone through the inspectors too. So she just has some concerns like Mr. Swank did too. Let's see, then I've got about 35, all for, let's see, we have something on the agenda tonight for, let me just, what is that under the agenda, what number? It's from the real estate community and some banks and some closing companies. See, help me, Jim, do you know what that is?
41 on
41. See, yep, discussion and or action on adding assessment information to our website. So these are all for or all in favor. So I've got 13 from Caldwell and Warcosca Group. I've got 6 from the Jones Real Estate Firm. I've got 3 from People State Bank. I've got 2 from 2 title companies. And then 13 from other various real estate agencies. And I think to read them, I mean, it would be, they're all for, they're all positive. So we'll have those in the record also. This is definitely the most, and any submissions ever, yep. And let's see, anyone else of a comment that has not filled out a form to speak? Right, and under public forum, yes. Yep, did you have something to speak about or a topic? On the chickens, okay, so the chicken, I'm sorry, what?
Against the chickens and things that these people have not said about the chicken.
Okay, well, we're gonna have probably a pretty healthy debate.
I got 2 minutes.
Go ahead, yep, go ahead, state your name and address for the record.
My name is Jan Earhart. I live at 5501 Alex Street. I was just reading up on the what flock of chickens, how many they can be. And it's like if you have 5 hens, they last about 5 years. They cost about $69 a month. That's with your feed, your medicine if they get sick, your pest control, your feeders, your waterers. And then 1 hen produces 130 pounds of manure in a year. My main concern is where does that manure go? When you're gonna let people have 10 hens, 15 hens. You can compost it, but it has to be really composted to use for your gardens. You can't just take it, put it in the garden. It's too full of E. coli and stuff like that until it actually breaks itself down and then you can use it. But then you're gonna have to wash your vegetables and all that stuff. So that was just my main concern. And you attract a lot of fox. You attract a lot of birds that come and take your birds, even though you're free ranging. My mother-in-law tried it. She wasn't with all the ticks. She had birds come, fox come and take her chickens. She ended up putting them in a net. So they didn't free range. And then after a while, they stopped laying eggs. So then you have a chicken. And if you want to have them butchered, that probably would be what you'd have to do after about 5 years when they stop laying eggs. That's my main concern, was how you keep, who enforces how many chickens that you have? Is there a chicken police that comes around? I mean, it's just my concern. So that's all I had to say.
Okay.
I didn't hear that part of anybody saying when they had chickens, it was all great, you know, like little peeps, but, okay, thank you very much.
Anybody else? Are you gonna stay? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Oop. Yep, I'm sorry. Why don't you come on up and state your name and address for the record?
My name is Grace Klopadik, and I live on 6003 Jessica Street. And frankly, I'm pretty neutral on the chicken thing. However, after listening to her speak, I can tell you that I grew up on a farm, and I fully support the fact that some people here would want to have chickens. From what I saw a next door neighbor, what I heard, and maybe I'm incorrect, was it was going to be 5 hens on a certain size property. and it wasn't going to be any roosters. So after reading all of the stuff on Next Door Neighbor, if that is the inclination of the board, I would fully support it. I frankly believe there's a lot of people here who pay taxes just like the other people who do, and that they have every right to do with their property reasonably what they want to do. And I think that some people are passing judgment way ahead of time of what's going to happen. And you can't base it on what's going to happen in 5 years. I don't see that. If you have a minimum lot size and you have an enclosed coop, chickens are wonderful little critters. I can tell you that my niece had a chicken for a pet. So they are not dirty, disease-oriented animals. And I would fully support anybody who wanted to have chickens in their yard. And I would strongly encourage you guys to just put in place some type of rules. And I'm sure that's what you would do, just as you do with other pets, and just look at it that way and then give them the opportunity and maybe bring it up for a discussion after trialing it for a year. And I have to say, he was very positive when he said Wausau has it, Stevens Point has it. I don't see any reason why Weston shouldn't have it with controls in place. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good. All right, moving out of public comments, nothing on Zoom, nothing on social media, okay. Minutes from previous meetings, September 18th, 2023, Board of Trustees meeting. What's your pleasure? Motion to approve by Ermeling? Second by Cronin. Any more in discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Acknowledge reports, minutes from boards, committees, and commissions.
Motion to approve items number 8, 10, and 13.
Motion by Cronin, second by Pincinel. Anything else on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Meg, isn't he doing good? Yeah, he's something else. He's just wonderful. Reports from departments. Let's see, 17 clerk. Any more that you want to add?
No, nothing other than.
Any questions? Let's see, finance. Anything to add? Nothing?
I just want to add that if you want a paper copy of the financial statements, I do have them, just give me a call, or I have 2 here, if you want to take them.
Okay,
That's it.
sounds good, thank you. Fire and EMS.
Just two quick things to add. We do have a group of 4 part-time firefighter EMTs that are actually doing their final academy testing as we speak. So they should hopefully be up and running here in the next couple weeks. And then we did make a job offer to fill our full-time vacancy that is waiting on psychological and physical examinations. And as soon as those are complete, hopefully that individual will be starting their academy training. So probably 6 to 8 weeks before they're actually up and running though.
Thanks, chief. Any more for the chief? All right, Parks and Recreation.
I did have a report in the packet. The only thing I had to add was, and I did have it in there, is that we plan on moving to the Park and Rec Committee meeting to the 5th Monday of this month, the 4th.
Yep.
Just to make everybody aware, and I did send out an email regarding it. So it would be on the 30th at 5.
Okay. Monday, okay.
Yep.
Any more for Sean? Let's see, planning development.
So the one thing I do want to point out in my report is underneath identified needs, and we'll talk about it more when we get to the annexation section, but the DOA did suggest that we start talking about a boundary agreement with the town of Weston to formalize some type of agreement. It'll make annexation easier in going forward and just help preserve that relationship.
I agree, that's good. Okay, anything more for Jen? Planning development? Police is excused. 23, Public Works. There is a report in the packet though for EMPD. Public Works for Michael. Any more to add?
No, I guess leaf and brush pickup did start today, and after one day, we're still on schedule, so we'll just stay that way.
Our neighborhood went from nothing on the curbs to everything is full on the curbs.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully it just doesn't rain as hard and so that it can use the vacuum better. Let's see, Nate is not here. Anything on technology? Anybody have anything there? No? All right, let's see, acknowledge.
Looking to acknowledge 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24.
By Pincinel.
Second.
Second by Hardinger. Any more on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Work product transmittals, 25, acknowledge September building permits.
Motion to acknowledge 25 and 26.
By Pincinel, second by Ermeling. Anything on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Consent agenda 27, let's see. We only have one item on there, and this is for El Chero
Motion to approve item 28.
by Cronin, second by Pincinel. Any more on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so carried. Number 30, ordinances, ordinance number 23-016, an ordinance amending provisions within chapter 94 of the municipal code affecting the performance standards of the personal storage facility land use, calculation of minimum required parking spaces, bicycle parking, and non-conforming sites in the village of Weston and the extra territorial zoning area of the town of Weston. What's your pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Cronin,
Second.
second by Zagami. Anything on the discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Page 103, paragraph 6.
Okay.
It reads, must be completely enclosed. We had some discussion on this in planning. It was actually to the chicken thing, but it read exactly the same, must be completely enclosed and the chicken that included a roof, right? So the screening had to be above. Should we?
The screening had to be what?
Okay, it had to be above.
Yep,
right?
yep.
Like the
I
chicken
had
coop and roof.
changed it, so it must not have copied over.
Okay, so
Okay.
It says, yeah, it says, I changed it to what they had. I can make that note.
so for the public storage or for the storage though, it doesn't, it's a
It should
shielded.
be, yeah, the surrounding or whatever they had said. I did change it. I must have grabbed the wrong one when I copied it.
And then the same thing on page 104, we talked about that too with the rewording the.
Yeah, I reworded
Paragraph 7.
both of it, so it must be the wrong one that I grabbed.
Okay, we good?
Yeah, if it is amended.
Okay. Any more on the discussion?
You want to make an amendment to the motion to include the changes since it's not in the packet or?
I can find it and read it if you want to move on to the other one. We can come
I'm
back
sorry,
to
what?
it. If you want to move on, I can send it over to Michael so that he can see it. We can come back to it if you want.
Okay.
Defer it for a second.
Just not, we gotta finish, we gotta finish the action.
I'll make a motion to withdraw my motion. Rescind, sorry.
And who Shane?
Yes, I just.
Okay, so we're gonna come back to that. Do we have to vote on that? I got a no over here and I got a yes over here.
Well, there's no, on the rescinding, no.
No? Okay, so we're good. Let's move on to 31. Let's see, ordinance number 23-017, an ordinance amending section 30.106, parent 1, entitled Appointment of Inspectors.
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Zagami,
Second.
second by Hardinger. Any more in the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 32. Ordinance number 23-018, an ordinance to amend sections 94.4.09, parent 10, keeping of farm animals on residential lots and school sites. And 94.3.04, allowable uses in rural, open space and residential zoning districts in the village of Weston and the extraterritorial zoning area of the town of Weston.
In order to discuss it, I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
So a motion to approve by Pincinel for discussion and second by Hardinger. Now up for discussion.
So the concerns that I had were, so to give everyone in the audience background, we talked about this at length multiple times, but got very in-depth in the planning commission last week, Monday. And the humane officer from the city of Wausau was here. They currently have this program in the city of Wausau. They've had it since 2018, does that sound right?
Yes.
I believe 2018. And they have between 15 and 20 registered or licensed or active chicken sites. From 2018 till now, there's been one complaint. The one complaint was was more of a language barrier complaint. There was an Asian resident that didn't understand or speak, or she couldn't communicate with him well, so she came back with a Hmong officer and they were able to work it out. And they got it figured out. But in that period of time, in 5 years, with 15 to 20 sites, there's been no issue. The lot size has been addressed, 15,000 square feet, which an acre is a little over 45,000 square feet, so it's about a third of an acre. So these very small lots that we have, like in Inner Springs or some of the newer subdivisions, would not be eligible for this. There are currently chickens being kept in residential areas in the village of Weston right now. That there's not issues with. Other than the fact that they're breaking the rules right now, so this would allow them to continue to operate safely. We talked about, someone mentioned free range chickens or chickens running everywhere, going to the neighbor's yard. This has laid out that you have to have coop. The coop has to be inspected and you have to have a run. It has to be enclosed. That's where the enclosed area with the secured storage came about on item 31 that Jennifer's researching right now that we talked about. So the chicken can't fly away. It can't fly into your neighbor's yard. It stays in its area. The proposed changes that I have to this, the way that it's written, I think the survey that went out was in support. I was shocked at the turnout that we had. I believe it was like 19.5% of the 16,000 village residents responded to the survey. That's amazing that we had that kind of turnout, but essentially 20% of the people responded to the survey and they were in support of it.
What was the percentage?
19.5%.
In support.
19.5% responding, I think.
Right, from the whole community, I got that part.
Yeah, 65% were in support.
Okay, so what was the actual number? Cause I saw that in the report, but I didn't see the number.
68 or something.
What's that?
It's attached in that Dropbox link if you wanna.
Yeah. You're talking a Dropbox link to me. You had me stopped.
So we
And then the
did
link
have-
did it too.
We had the survey in the plan commission packet. We knew this packet was gonna be really big, so that's why I had Eric put it into the.
And you wanted me to ask, so I did. So now can someone just tell me the two numbers? That's all I wanna know. Oh, so you're gonna go to the
There was
Dropbox link?
500 respondents.
How many times could they respond?
No, only once. I've done several of these. You can only respond once.
Can I go back in and respond a second time?
No, I don't believe so.
I don't believe so.
Okay, well, that'd be something to really check.
Nate's not here.
I know I've gone underneath my wife's email and voted against. I have not been able to do it twice with mine.
So 558 for yes and 305 for no.
Okay, those are big numbers. Those are very big numbers. 500 to yes and 300 for no. That's huge for what things that we've done. Okay. Where are we now?
Yeah, so I think we looked at these things, we looked at what these other municipalities are doing. There's no roosters. So that can go, that misconception can go away. I believe the maximum number of animals is 5. That doesn't mean you must have 5 when you sign up in the chicken box. The animals must be registered with the USDA, the US Department of Agriculture, so it's not the same as getting your dog or cat vaccinated, but at least if there is an issue, the state has a record that hen number 764.
Each individual one is registered?
Individual animal is.
Not that I have chickens, I've got 6, 7 of them, each one has its own number.
Each one has its own number.
Really?
And you're registered to that address, I believe. The humane officer does make an on-site visit to ensure that all these things are met. Like, we actually have a coop that will hold up to 5 chickens, and we have a run, and the stuff is set up in a humane manner so that we can have thawed water. I would propose taking the 25 feet away from any pre-existing dwelling away. She had mentioned that many of the ones in the city of Wausau are very close to the home, so that they can get power out there to thaw, so you can have thawed water or heat in the winter.
Any more discussion?
I just had a question of who added the words school site? Was there a request from the school district?
That was the ordinance already. So this ordinance was created back when they came to us at the middle school. They wanted to do some things with, I think, bees.
Sure.
And this ordinance came from,
So the ordinance was already in existence and then it was updated
but from, where did we get it from existence?
from this ordinance.
Yeah.
Before.
We had the ordinance in place.
Yeah,
Prior.
but from who?
We worked
From Mark
on it.
Roffers?
Yes.
We
Mark
worked
Roffers,
on
okay.
it with Mark.
Okay, so this is not the same ordinance that Wassa has. This is something that Mark did from
It
Madison.
was written to mimic Wausau's as
It
closely as.
was, yeah, we mimicked it as well as.
But we couldn't have just done Wassa's instead of pay his fee. Just a thought. And I'll leave
There
it
are
at
some
that.
different
I'll
stipulations, I
leave
There
it-
was some
I'll leave it at
different
that.
things with it.
I'll leave it at that. If we're gonna go around here a little bit, and I've been very honest with, I know Ryan, I emailed you back, and my concern is what's the next animal? I personally love goats. I think they're so cool, and I know all of my grandkids would just go berserk to have a goat. And I know that you can't make cheese in your backyard, but you could probably do the milk. And I'm not trying to be humorous a little bit, but I just don't know where that line is. And you had a good answer to me, you know, Ryan, and others, but that's where I am. I'm just on what's the next animal. I think of the neighbors that are around me, and I think of each separate household that would have chickens and who would be, you know, who could handle chickens, maybe like a dog, because some don't handle their dogs that well. And then I think, okay, now they're gonna handle the chickens the same way, so. So that's my dilemma, is what's the next animal? You know, and I know we can, I've heard several people up here even say, we can just say no. Well, okay, so no to goats. You know, so whatever. So that's just my piece, okay? Anyone else?
Well,
You had your hand up, or no?
well, yeah, go ahead.
Yep, go ahead.
If you wanna go ahead first.
Go ahead, Barb.
I guess, I have a problem simply because although they didn't have the restrictions that this ordinance would have, I've over the years have had 2 to 3 people in my neighborhood that has had chickens. And one of them was in my backyard. I have 2 acres, so it was far, but my garden happens to be bent in my back part. And I can tell you, I didn't appreciate in the middle of summer the smell. They also sometimes got out, ruined a few things in the garden. But my main thing is, and when he got rid of his, there was another neighbor that had some, is we had really some strange animals in our yard. And the one that did it in was when I had a fisher right on my side and I was out in my backyard. And I didn't know what it was. I looked at that animal and I thought, boy, that's a strange looking thing. And I went in and I said to my husband about it. He said, how close were you? And I said, well, he was right in the brush there. And he told me, and we've foxes and skunks, I mean, you name it. And I guess I just, I couldn't support it. I really couldn't. I've lived through it. I wouldn't want to go through it again. And it took a long time to get rid of those chickens. They weren't allowed, but let me tell you, things don't always go according to plan.
Jasper?
Yes, my question was on enforcement and registration, if that was something that WASA does with the registration and who's following up the enforcement.
Enforcement, okay.
The same humane officer, so.
The humane officer does that.
And that's why,
That's
or
right.
another reason, not only for. Because what they have in Wausau seems to work, right? They don't have issues. But so we don't have way crazy rules versus them that. The same humane officer that does the city of Wausau would do with the village of Weston.
So they,
And so she's following, enforcing the same rules on both sides of town.
so how does that work for, she works for WASA, or she works for the county?
She works for the EMPD.
EMPD, right.
She works for.
She's our humane officer. And for Wassa as well.
And for Wausau.
Did we,
Between the two.
okay, we get any,
She will be doing our cats, our cat issue, yeah.
any feedback as far as like?
She came to the hearing, and so she explained a lot of it to the plan commission. And Erin has been talking to her and shared the ordinance with her. And the only suggestion she had was that in Wausau, they allow them right up next to buildings, but our fire department does not want that. Marty was in the audience and said no, so we always have to make sure everything's 10 feet away from buildings.
But as part of our discussion to change that 25 to 10.
Yes.
And then I guess did the health officer have any concerns of their own as far as being able to follow up on
The humane officer, no,
the humane officer?
She was for it.
she was for it, she was here and for it.
Any more? Any more discussion?
I guess if the humane officer is gonna follow up on the ordinances and make sure everything's okay.
We work with her right now for animal fancier. We haven't had one for a while. I think we only have one in the village right now. But worked with her on that. And she also does like our commercial pet establishments and things like that. So once it became evident that you guys weren't gonna have to go out and check coops and things like that, then I was more comfortable with it, because we don't have time to eat the chicken.
Yeah, that was really more my concern. Anything that
The
wasn't.
initial registration is also not on the inspectors, right?
Right,
It's on Paula.
so between Aaron and it's gonna be a license, so an annual license, so we will have to create something in Evolve that people can apply for, and with the help of the clerks, they'll have to renew it every year.
Okay.
But she will do the inspections initially on the coops.
And her communication here will be Erin? Or who?
We kind of
EMPD?
communicate with her, so Wassa also uses Evolve, and she has mentioned that she would, maybe want to do that for the animal, the dogs and cat
Yep.
licensing, because that's how the city of Wassa does it.
Mhm.
We can give her access. We do that right now with the city of Wassa for building inspections, because they're a backup, so she can actually see it and be a piece of that approval process. We do that with Josh and Marty for site plans for the fire department. So we can give her access so she can be a part of that review. We'll just monitor it here on our end.
She helped quell a lot of my fears too, because I had a not good experience with chickens. And I think, especially for the public, I don't think everybody's necessarily educated on where they can go when they have a problem or a concern to get it addressed. Because she did state it could be, if there's someone that's doing something they shouldn't be, it could be addressed in a matter of a couple days.
Yeah, we'll have to build something on the complaint side of Evolve also, and that can go right to her. And then we'll also still have to verify zoning, so we have to, either Aaron and I have to be a part of it, because we do have some single family lots that will not be.
Okay.
Was there a cost in there, $5,000, or is that?
What?
No.
There was no change to her fee that's all part of her.
For cats. No, I didn't see that. No, you might have seen it with the cats, with the money we're gonna take from licensing,
I didn't
right?
have a dollar amount.
Oh, you didn't have it in there? Okay. I don't know where you saw that. Okay.
Yeah, we're proposing a $35 fee later on the schedule of fees for the actual license. That's what the city of Wausau charges, so.
Any more discussions? Yes. Yes.
I would like to see it amended to have it be 10 feet for the spot distance from existing dwelling, and 75 feet from a dwelling on a neighboring parcel.
No, wait, 75 feet.
Right now it's 50, I believe, right? It's as you were 25 feet from a
So there's
existing dwelling on any
So there's
lot.
two different regulations you're probably looking at. So in the rural areas, they have to be further away. So there's a couple things happening in that ordinance change.
So I need to rescind my support your motion.
No, hold on. I want to make sure we're clear here. Because that 75 feet sounds pretty long. I mean, it sounds like a big distance in residential. Is that clear or is that rural?
I think that's
From the neighbor's house.
You think that's rural? Yeah, it makes more sense in rural. I think that would be
Is it right there? It says 25 feet.
okay, 25 feet, okay.
Any dwelling on any lot, so.
Okay. Not from the structure, but from the lot line. Correct?
That's from the structure.
From an existing dwelling.
Any house anywhere.
We gotta clear that up. then. Let's say with the neighbor.
Right. Okay, Jim, where are we?
Yeah, I still would like to increase it to 75. There are some lots that are configured, that way it's not right outside your neighbor's bedroom window.
Mhm.
I think you can still make it work on many of these 15,000 square foot lots. But it encourages you, if you're gonna follow the ordinance, to be mindful of your neighbors, and we're gonna move that as far away from the neighbor's house as we can. I would
So
also
you're-
ask that we remove the school site, since there's been no request for the school. We can amend it at that time, but the school site language can go away.
Are we on some school land, or is this referring to something that we're just not thinking right?
They wanted to.
Where, oh, bees, okay.
Things that.
So we can pull it off because it was about bees before, okay. All right, so are you amending? What are you doing?
I think I have to rescind mine because I second his motion, so
Go ahead,
I'll rescind
rescind.
my second to his motion.
So by,
Rescind my motion,
okay,
I make the same motion, but changing the 25 feet from any pre-existing dwelling to 75 feet from any dwelling on a neighboring parcel.
We had to add the 10 feet to that.
Also adding
the 10 feet for the fire department
10 feet away
from an existing
from an
building.
existing structure.
Okay,
Talking about existing and then neighboring.
Also removing the school site language.
So there's 3 amendments to that, Pam.
are we clear in this? So it's been rescinded and now amended by Pincinel. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Hardinger with the amended motion on all 3 factors. Are we good?
Yep.
Okay. Any more discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
So let's just be clear, is that a 5-2? Or is that
I'm not even sure.
is that a 4-3? Well, who said aye?
Aye.
Aye, so it's a 5-2. So it passes 5-2. Chickens are in Weston. And are you his son, right? Okay, you did a good job last week, Monday. I wasn't here, but I heard a lot about you, and I know you switched 1 vote, so yeah, so good for you. And then you must have switched to soccer and got here real quick to see this?
Yes.
So you look pretty happy, so. Can those chickens make this ride for 2 hours from Green Bay or hour and a half? Oh, yeah, okay, all right,
You go get them this weekend.
all right.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
I ask what's the next animal? Next animal is the peacock.
The peacock? I will support a peacock. Yep, I will. So, all right, so that one's put the rest. So 32 is done, 5-2 in favor. What? 30? Yeah, we're gonna go back to 30 now? Are we ready? Number 30, ordinance number 23-016, an ordinance amending provisions within chapter 94 of the municipal
Emailed
code.
it to you, Michael.
What?
Yeah.
So I changed it to completely screened by any permitted combination of building structures, walls. and elements.
Okay.
That's what they had. Completely screened instead of completely enclosed.
Are we gonna stand still here? What are we doing?
I'm good.
All right, you want me to read this or not read it? I already read it once, but you stopped me in the middle of it the second time, so are we good? So what's your pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Cronin,
Second.
second by Wyland. Any more on the discussion?
Am I ever reading the second paragraph there?
Okay, we're good. Let's just review this. So we have a motion by Cronin, second by Wyland, right? On discussion, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so carried. So 30, 31, and 32 are done. Resolutions, 33, resolution number 2023-016, final resolution for Birch Street reconstruction special assessments. Moved by Ermeling, second by Zagami. On the question. Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 34, resolution number 2023-018, a resolution to amend the village fees schedule.
So moved.
Moved by Cronin. Second. Second by Pincinel. On the discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 35, resolution number 2023-019, a resolution discontinuing a portion of Dominica Street in the village of Weston, Marathon County, Wisconsin. You want to make a motion to give it up for discussion?
Did you want to let Joe speak?
Yep, I'm gonna.
No, no, he can until we make.
Until we get in discussion. Yep, so motion by Ermeling. Second. Second by Pincinel. Now on the discussion. Joe, you want to go first? Okay, and Joe, do you know what the thought is right now, right? Do you know that
I
it's?
wasn't at September, I wasn't able to be here, but I know that you are considering vacating 16 feet.
Yeah, so 16 feet swings to you, okay? And I've just been over this so many times with, retiring Donner, Jen, Michael, everybody, and of course you have two. And this 16 feet going to your property puts everything you have in code. Jen, is that the right word? And
So he would exceed the setback.
you'll actually exceed the setback. Now, if you're thinking that this road is gonna go through, it's not. It'll actually still look like your driveway. And it'll connect you to your house, just as it is now. Okay, so is this the map that we have on here? So where's the 16?
So the 16 is shaded.
It's right here?
So
Okay,
it
so,
leaves a 50.
so his driveway is right here.
It goes right.
This
through here.
16 feet puts you in everything is in code. This road isn't gonna change, correct? This driveway will not change. You'll still have access the same way you do now. And I mean, so I know it sounds maybe different.
Are you saying there'll never be a road there?
No,
Not
I'm
saying
not
that,
saying that.
okay,
But what I'm saying is,
so we're still in limbo.
nope, you will not be in limbo.
There'll never be a 60-foot wide road
There'll
there.
never be a 60-foot, it'll be a limited road. But it's gonna hold it open for a possible, 75, 80 homes behind there. It may not be used, but at least we have the flexibility to be able to use it. But it takes you out of the selling dilemma, the financing dilemma, all those things that we've been on for 5 years.
I don't know if it does. I have some questions.
Okay.
Okay. I know a lot of you haven't been here the whole time and may not remember, beginning of all this, but it did start in 2018. And the reason it didn't get settled is in this amount of time is because it is a tough one. But regardless of what is proposed there, it does affect the value of our home. And that can be significant. It could be our entire equity that we've built. I'll just take 5 minutes and read what I wrote because I had some points and some questions to bring up. And just to make it clear, to those who don't know the whole situation, it'll sort of summarize some things a little bit too. So first and foremost, before any action is taken, I'd consider these points. This home was built without regard to setback regulations, causing it to infringe on the road extension, yet all permits were granted. It passed all inspections and it was sold to us unsuspecting citizens. So strong consideration should be given to how this happened, who's at fault, who's not at fault, who's most adversely affected, and what can be done. What is fair and what does the public support? After viewing the proposed partial street vacation that we're just talking about, which vacates a 16-foot strip of land, there are several questions that I feel need to be answered before approving the concept. Before I get to those questions, the first one is, why are we now considering this proposal when the business at hand was to get the wetland delineation completed on the old Costa and Municipal Street access points by September so we could reschedule the public hearing on vacating this Dominica Street extension completely. I recall where we were months ago. There was much work done to secure the other two dedicated accesses to the future possible development south of Mary Lane, those being Old Costa and Municipal Streets. With those other two accesses secured, vacating the entire Dominica Street extension looked possible. The solution had significant public support. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going by memory here. I didn't look up the meeting minutes, but I recall the motion was made to begin that process. It was seconded and passed by vote to schedule a public hearing on the matter. A few days later, a special meeting was called to suspend that public hearing. There was concern by the developer whether any possible wetland issues at Old Costa and Municipal Street access points to the south could make it difficult to access that land south of Mary Lane. That would have given the developer the entire spring and summer to get that wetland delineation completed. Possibly the village should have scheduled the wetland delineation themselves because the summer went by and the wetland delineation was not done. This wetland question should only involve the Old Costa and Municipal Street access points and not the entire acreage between Mary Lane and the freeway or any other future development plans for that land. The only question pertaining to the Dominica Street issue are the Old Costa and Municipal Street access points to the south of Mary Lane to be free of wetland issues. If those access points are clear, whatever wetlands that may be south of those access points should be up to the developer to figure out. So after years of securing the dedicated right-of-ways and moving toward a public hearing to vacate this road extension, why are we not following through with what had the most public support? That's one question. Now, regarding that possible reconstruction, if at this time a restructuring plan is still being proposed, it should be tabled and used only if wetland issues make it impossible to gain access south. Okay, either way, some of the questions that I had when looking at that are the proposed plan shows moving the lot line 16 feet into the right of way by vacating that 16-foot strip and leaving the road extension at 50 feet wide. But I think there are a few other questions that it doesn't answer. In one of the past meetings we had here, it was stated that a roadway could be reduced to 24 feet wide. Will that be the case in this proposal? I'm just gonna go through them all and then we'll touch on them.
Can you write that one down? Because I've got enough here ready to ask questions, right?
I can hand you this when I'm done.
I know, that's right.
It was stated that, okay, in vacating the 16-foot road extension and leaving it 15-foot wide, will the proposed road be placed in the middle of the 50-foot right of way or to one side?
Michael? That's another one.
Will there be a utility easement between the lot lines and the curbs? Most places, a driveway enjoy a 17-foot easement added from their lot line to give them a little longer driveway. That's why I'm getting at that. Will there be utility easements on one side of this proposed road? Or both sides, or which side? Will these easements be equal in width on the east and west sides of this proposed road? How many feet wide will they be? Exactly how many feet from the house to the curb? That was the only question that I did get an answer to. I asked my attorney to ask Matt Edie to pass that along, and I got a few answers.
I answered all the questions.
But that one said that they don't know, but it could be 21 feet. So if I park my truck 3 feet from the house, it'll stick out 1 foot into the road. Then I asked, will there be a cost to 5803 Mary Lane, whether we own that or whether we have to disclose to someone else all these other questions if we want to sell it? We need answers to these questions. What other costs are involved with the construction? Who's paying for the driveway and the lawn restoration? We need answers to these questions, I think, before you can propose something like this, because otherwise we're still in the same place. We can't give proper disclosure to anyone, a potential buyer, if we do decide to move. Without clear answers to these questions, we're just in no better position than we were 5.5 years ago. We just want to move forward without losing equity in our home.
So I don't know how you want to start here, but I remember having some of these discussions with our previous administrator, Donner, and a lot of staff. So currently, without that 16 feet, is it my understanding that you're being taxed on the current property you have? Not the 16 nor anything to the west? My understanding is that your taxes are on your existing legal spot, which is too close.
Whatever it is, it's about $6,000 on a.
His property is his property.
But not to where maybe they might have thought, or,
His
right?
driveway is,
No,
That's
okay,
your
so
driveway.
the 17 years of taxes are the current legal description of that. Now, in 18, when you came to the board, I was running for the board. And, you know, it was quite interesting. I remember talking to you in the audience on that. But when I started hearing some more of the facts, and others did too, you know, so the taxes, you weren't overtaxed, you were taxed actually what you believe that you would want the whole thing, you would actually have paid much more taxes for more land. Just one thing. The delineation, I'm just gonna go back on what I wrote down here. Delineation of September, everything is kind of stopped with the interest rates with building across the board, everywhere. And the delineation just didn't make sense. What made sense to me is I can't personally be on a board that lets something like this sit here for 5 years. I mean, this has been driving me crazy. We've had a lot of conversation. I've been all over the board on this myself personally. And I want this finished, and I want it finished for you, and I want it finished so that we have some flexibility too. I think this makes sense. The hearing, we did rescind that, correct? So we had a hearing, then we did rescind it, and then Jim brought it back for this tonight. So the taxes I talked about, it's 135.6 feet and by 16, 2,169 square feet is gonna be over to you. And I believe on the pricing, I'm just gonna try to grab both of you here at the same time. I don't believe there is any fees to him or to the property owners, correct?
We've done, I mean, we paid for the survey, we've done.
No, the questions that he has on restoration, on driveway, all the discussions I've had with Donner and Edie have all been nothing.
It would have been built with the developer.
Right,
At the
okay.
time that
All right, so that's one there. The 24-foot wide road is correct, right?
Yeah, I mean.
And we were gonna push it to the west.
If that's what's approved by plan commission
Yep.
and the village board,
Mhm.
when if a road is built there, that's.
So if it's pushed to the west, go ahead. Yep.
It is 24 feet road, 212 feet
Right.
lane.
Yep.
But still we need ditching there. I mean,
Yep, there'll be that mountable type curb that we're using a lot now. There'll still be a little bit of ditch, but it'll look like what he has now. What he has now
It's gonna be
is
in that
actually,
50 feet.
yes, but that's all easement.
Right.
So, you know, so you're gonna have a road. I believe the driveway is how wide for you right now, your driveway, that you call your driveway.
What do you mean wide?
So when you come off the road, how wide is your driveway? Right off the road.
Well, it looks like
12
it's
feet?
less than 16 feet.
Yep, so now it's gonna be 24. But it'll be pushed to the west side. It'll be 24 feet to the west. So trying to give you as much land, or I should say, easement land as possible. So it's this here piece here, which will change legal to you, but the road is, what is this, 50 feet, so 20.
It doesn't, shouldn't that be written right on there exactly where that curb's gonna be? Because someone's gonna ask someday if we
They'll
put
have
that.
to
for sale.
design.
Build the road. Yeah, we might not even build it. It might stay this way, Joe.
It might,
Yeah.
but
But
It all has to
whoever,
be designed.
whoever has
but
legal
it's hanging
description,
out there.
whoever has legal description, it will be to this. And it is pushed to the west, right?
It would be whatever is approved by the board. I mean,
Okay.
you guys, if you want to put a a requirement on that, that if anything is ever.
And that would go to
built,
planning, which would be the Steve's commission.
Yeah.
Well, how about before approving something like that, you get all those dimensions written right on there?
It's not a realistic option, Joe,
No?
unfortunately.
No, it isn't.
It's
You
not.
couldn't-
Just built the house where it was on the plan, but that didn't happen either.
Yeah.
You didn't build it personally.
I know, but I mean, if
both at
we
all
sell, if we put the house for sale someday and I show this to someone, they're gonna go, well, where's the road go? We
will
need
have
to know.
No road there now, though.
There, Joel, when this is all said and done, that will not be an issue.
It's gonna look like a corner lot on the
Yep.
map.
It's gonna look like a corner
There's a
lot.
lot of these instances out in the village where
Mhm.
there's roads that are dedicated and people, I mean, they.
Are you thinking the road is absolutely necessary for just roundabout everyday traffic or emergency use only, or?
Not be used at all. Might be a walking path.
You know.
But
I
the
mean,
flexibility is
Might
there.
just be a water main underneath.
Utilities might be there. Yep. It's a tremendous amount of flexibility for 75 to 85 homes.
It shouldn't impact the sale of that property whatsoever.
I don't believe so.
Negatively.
The
It
last
shouldn't
three,
negatively impact
the
it.
last three I have is construction, driveway and lawn, restoration, that's all on us.
You wouldn't have
It
any
won't
cost
cost
to
you, will not cost you a dime.
If a road were built.
If
The
we're
road would
gonna
never be
redo
built.
this, yeah.
Right, so if somebody asks me, if a road is ever built, where will the curb be? Can I answer that?
Well, it'll be a mountable curb, but we'll put flags there if you wanna see
You're
it.
gonna have new corner stakes that we just paid for.
Further than what that shows.
Right there, that number 4.
Yeah, I saw those. They run right behind where my vehicle, right up to the bumper of my vehicle when it's parked by the garage.
So that's the right of way.
That's the right of way, Joe.
So there's two different things here. So
The lot
roadway,
line.
back of curb to back of curb, it would be roughly 26 feet if we go with a minimum 24-foot wide road. So this line and down the middle of the right of way currently is at 33 feet. So I mean, it's possible that that entire roadway is built on the west side of that 33 feet.
What if the neighbor on that side objects to having the road part?
He doesn't get to
against his
object.
lot
He
line?
doesn't get to object.
So, or you center it within the 50, and so you got what, 14
There's
feet?
no issue with the other neighbor.
It's road right of way.
What if he sells it and the next person doesn't like the idea? I mean,
It's
shouldn't all
right away-
those questions just be
It's a right
answered?
of way now, Joe. It's a right of way now. The discussion about the neighbor has never come up in 5 years. I would actually ask you not to make that an issue.
Oh, okay.
It's no issue. In 5 years, I've never heard about the neighbor.
I know, but if.
Other than he will not give up half. So that's the only thing I ever heard is that if something happens, he's not gonna,
Just thinking
not
about
willing
the
to participate.
possibilities. Just
But-
trying
but
to, I'd like it to be as clear as possible.
Then we don't need to bring up the neighbor.
Okay.
Well, your proposal codify or whatever is that it'll be all the way to the left and it'll be 25 feet or whatever those numbers are. Will that be part of this approval process?
Yes.
So that's locked down.
It's not currently locked down, but it'll go to planning commission and get locked down.
If it were to ever be so.
Does this have to go back to planning or is it coming to
No,
BOT?
so the process that this
Oh, good.
does is this kicks off a hearing in December.
Okay.
So this is so originally when Joe tried it, he had to have the majority of the people, he was trying to, there's different ways to go about vacating streets.
right.
He tried to do it by himself petitioning, but you have to have all the property owners. Well, he was never going to get Heath to sign off
Right,
on that
right.
when he doesn't know. There's so many unknowns.
Mm-hmm.
So your choice is to take it and it has to be in the public's best interest. So the best interest here of the public, because we have so many unknowns, is to do nothing or to do the 16 feet. So that's kind of where we're at until that develops,
Well, actually, the worst for Joe's case is to take it all.
to do
Yep.
nothing.
Yeah, well,
To
you're right,
leave
you're
it.
right, leave it alone, 16, you're right, okay,
Because
I'm sorry.
you can't, the public's best interest right now is not to vacate that. That's why he can't go that route. Can't vacate the whole thing.
Heath would like it in his note here to the board, he'd like it all to just stay, rest, nothing. And I mean, we can't sit here and go through this for another year and a half if interest rates are bad, it can't be done to you.
What does Heath have to say?
What Heath has to say is that he has always said that he believes, wants to let the village know that we do not support vacating a right of way at this time until there is development plan approved by a preliminary plat level. There is no way to know if that right of way will be needed. We thought we would be doing wetland delineation this year and could possibly do a design for preliminary approval, but the market conditions have caused a delay in making this decision. We do not know when we will be developing this property, but I think it is in Weston's and a developer's best interest to not vacate the right of way. Whether it be Denyon, another developer, or the village developing this land, it is best served to have this right of way as an option for growth and expansion for the village. Now, on the bottom here, we do support a partial vacation of the right of way as explained in an email to me to help with the current landowner whose home is built too close to the property line. And that's exactly what we're talking about here. He wasn't for this until we showed him what we had in mind. And
He had some preliminary drawings of his subdivision that did not include the use of that right away
Right.
too. He had like 4 or 5 of them, if I remember.
but we don't have the two corners locked down, correct? We don't. We have one lockdown, but not both.
We have both corners, but we
Oh, we
don't
do.
know where any wetlands are.
Right,
so
oh yeah,
we
that's
don't
right.
know if
It's the
we can
wetlands.
access
Yeah,
through
it's the wetlands, yeah.
He would prefer not to use this. It was
Right.
talked at plan commission of potentially being maybe a sidewalk or some kind of walking.
Just hold on. Are we okay over here? Okay.
We're doing some crow stuff.
But it also had been talked about needing it for utilities.
Yep, okay, right,
It would stay, it would remain as road right of way most likely.
okay.
Punch the utilities.
So that finishes his letter, and then I'll be submitting that for the record too, so. Okay. I mean, we can't, or I can't personally, put this all the rest right now with you. But I wanna be there when this final drawing is done and we present it to you. I think you'll feel really good about it. And I wouldn't say that if I didn't believe it. No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Lori Mazinowski, same address.
Mhm.
So I think what we need is really an assurance of some sort that the driveway is gonna be a little longer than Joe's truck. Because
I
that's
see.
gonna take our
Yep.
basketball hoop.
Well, let's
It's
just
not gonna take anything.
come off 3 feet of the house. And now, using the, all the different things and the 24 or 26 feet, I should say. How long is his truck to
And
that?
21 is actually only on the corner, because if you look
Okay.
at it, look how it goes past. So it's actually longer to the rest of the house. So it's
Okay, and
21 at the
here-
closest point of the house.
So right now, do you park on the driveway, the north-south?
Well, I mean, I just want to be able to make sure that there's at least a driveway there where a person can pull in with a trailer and not be sticking out on the road.
Trying to be a stinker here, but I'm just gonna say this, for what? Because the road ain't gonna go through. If you park out, you're gonna still think that that's your driveway. It's not gonna be so dramatic.
I'm just assuming when the road does go through, because it could.
10 to 15 feet, like every single person sitting in here, they're where the curb is to where their actual property line starts.
saying
is
17,
Probably 10
10,
feet
15, okay.
that they're parking on, that's right of way.
It should be 17 feet because the road is
It's a
32.
different- Whatever, I'm
The
just
road is
going to
32 and
move-
it's 66.
You're parking, most people think that they own out to the.
I understand.
They don't.
Right.
So when he puts that road in there, if it goes in there, I mean, it's gonna probably, you're gonna have green space there. They're gonna have to redo part of your driveway. Because they're gonna have to, depending on what they put in, if it's ribbon curb or curb, they're gonna have to define it in some way. So there'll be some reconstruction there at the end of your driveway.
I mean, even if the road is built centered and it's 24 feet wide, it would still leave another 11 feet of that 50-foot right of way before a curb would be there. So, I mean, that's 27 feet from the corner of wherever the nearest corner you have. If we have 50-foot right of ways in the village of Weston, we have 60-foot right of ways, we've got 66-foot right of ways. It varies throughout. You know, I guess when we design a road, when it comes time to approve a developer's plan, those are things we would check, you know, if all of a sudden they're trying to push this road so it's closer to that side, we'd go, hey, that doesn't make any sense, let's keep it on the west side. You asked about easements, this kind of takes away actually 16 feet of easement, the rest is road right of way. So that's where water, sewer would be placed. If there's fiber optic, all that has to be placed within road right of way.
Right.
Unless somebody wants to buy an easement from you to put it back
I
on.
was calling the utility easement. I know you have the road and then you have a strip on each side for that. And that's, I was calling it an easement, but
Some new subdivisions, WPS will require that they get an easement behind the right of way. Which,
But, and right now, that whole neighborhood is not curb and gutter, correct?
correct, there is curb and gutter here, yep.
Everywhere?
On this portion of it, yeah. Side of Old Costa.
So if this got redone, it would probably be that new mountable that we're putting in quite a bit of different areas, correct?
If we reconstructed the neighborhood, probably.
Yes, okay, good. I just think that's really good. When do we have an ETA on drawings for Jonas Way?
This is the drawing, so
This is, I know, but let's put the road in, let's do all that.
that would be the developer. I mean, we're not,
That's
unless
not our
you want
responsibility.
Michael to do something with village money, we're not.
Yeah, but we're gonna say where the road's gonna be. We're not gonna let Denyon say it's gonna go to the east. We're gonna say it's gonna go to the,
Anyway.
That would be done at the time that he comes in for planning.
okay. But, okay, maybe just to humor me a little bit, can we make that more user friendly? Yeah. Cause I have to stare at that for a while to understand,
just
and Joe can't see it the way I
We
can't see
have
it.
another one. This is an exhibition map that
Okay.
they did. So this
Okay.
is the legal, this is what I need to be able to start.
Can we exhibition,
There is
one with maybe some asphalt, some.
There, we've done this.
Is it up here
This
right
is-
now?
We've been talking about.
I know, but let's put some green grass in there, let's put the curb in there, okay.
There, it's all
Let's get that
highlighted
to
in
Joe
yellow.
his way, let's get that to Joe his way so they can see it.
We have that, right, from meetings ago?
Yeah, but we don't have it here right now, so if we could just get a copy to him, I'd appreciate it. Okay. And then we're talking hearing in December,
Yes, it would be at your meeting in December. That we move forward to adopt.
so it'd be the third Monday in December.
I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution 2023-19.
Just, hold on, okay?
We already had a motion on the
Yeah,
floor.
we have on the floor, this
Point of
discussion.
order.
Yep.
Call the
I'll
question.
just throw one tidbit in there. When it comes time to approve the development to the south, you could approve one that doesn't include this right away, couldn't you? Sorry? Well, you will have to approve the new development. He has several plans that don't include this.
Or just have to update it.
That could be one that could get approved, right?
We would probably keep it just for easement, for like you said, utilities, water, anything, maybe a walking, like anything like that, yeah. I would say, with all the discussions I've heard in 5 years.
Okay,
Okay,
all right, thank you.
go ahead, Jim, point of order,
Call the question.
call the question. We're hearing no more discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. All right, unfinished business, 36. Let's see, we have just a spot here for ARPA funds, anything on ARPA funds, no? Okay, 37, update on goals for 2023-25 strategic plan.
Where's Keith?
Okay, nope, it's just a marker.
Actually, the only thing I have to add to that is, Michael and, we've had Michael, Josh, I think Dan's even been kind of, well, not really, I guess. But, Utility and Public Works are put together a standard operation packet that they have for new hires based off their own hires experience and everything else for transitioning teams. So we get updates on that every month. They're pulling from standard practices throughout, both, I guess, on utility and public works side, the equipment that is, that we typically use, construction pertinent to wells that we have, all the stuff that would be very helpful for, any new hires coming on board, and just for standard practices within, the village itself. So, they're doing a great job with it, they're staying on it, that's kind of part of the strategic plan is to, build those operating packets for our departments.
Super. Thank you. 38, update on Stillwater Landing Mobile Home Park.
So I didn't know, sorry, I don't know all the procedures and stuff. So as you can see, I highlighted some of the newer things that were happening. I've been in there probably a couple times a week, once a week, just kind of seeing how things are going. It's still work in progress, as most people know. I did get an email from Corey today, their proposed road construction throughout the park, which they are not planning to get done this year.
What about hole filling?
Yes, I was told it will be done because he doesn't think he can get anybody to plow.
When?
They told me the next week or two, but I don't know.
I mean, that's the sooner the better. I mean,
Yes, I
I
agree.
have a hard time getting through there because when they're full of water, I don't know how deep they are.
Yeah, so.
And I go through there at least twice a week. And they've got, what, 3 new trailers sitting there, not on the slabs yet.
We just saw that today. We saw one.
They got one in the front, they got one crossing about 3 or 4 different properties. 2 now there? Okay, I thought I saw 3. Oh, so then there's 3. Yep, okay. Yep, there's 3, because I saw 2 there over the weekend. And so if another one came today, that's 3. So one is parked on the way in, past the first speed bump. The other one is on the first road to the left, about halfway down on the north side.
And then you come one up and there's another one.
Inside there too? Okay.
And I'm concerned with that, is the fact that, we do have winter months coming.
Mhm.
I'm a bit concerned with that road, it's always been rough as it is. And, then we get the snow in there, you got some houses on the road, blocking it, what happens to people sliding into them and stuff.
Well, at a certain point, I mean, it's kind of like doing somebody's lawn and charging them back. At a certain point, I believe we should go in there, fill those potholes and charge them. Double the rate, triple the rate, because that could have been done for months and months and months and months. And I understand we're gonna do some underground work now. Paving, but this is now a 2-year promise on paper. So,
So what about that pipe that one we was talking about that?
on the entrance area, some asbestos pipe.
Yeah, so we are holding off on replacing that this fall because we would end up paying to repave the road. So
I see.
the plan is to replace as part of the East Jelnik project next year and coordinate that with the mobile home park.
How long is that pipe? I mean, the pipe comes off Schofield Avenue.
Correct. It connects Schofield Ave to East Jelnik.
To East Jelnik.
So it runs
It
all the way
goes
through
all the way
park.
through the park, north, south.
Always should, so, okay, and leaving it gravel. Because
Well,
even
that-
though, even though it's in rough shape, okay.
So what is she talking about, asbestos? And
So it is an asbestos cement pipe. We have asbestos cement pipe in the village of Weston. It was a commonly used pipe material in the 60s. We generally have been trying to replace them because once they hit about 60 years old, we start having leaks and.
How old is that one?
It's about that. It was about, I think it's 68.
And so start to finish, getting the pipe, getting it all replaced is how long of a time frame?
Well, based on the quantity there, we'd have to bid it. That's minimum 4-week schedule right there, so.
But you're talking next year.
Yep.
We'd group it in with the rest, yeah. Procuring the pipe, trying to get the DNR approval. It really wasn't.
Yeah.
Once we got into it, it wasn't gonna be something we were gonna be able to do this year.
But there's no asbestos concern until it's broken up and
Correct.
it's
Yep,
dust.
until it's airborne.
Yep. So you're a contact, Travis, right?
Yeah.
So, if those holes don't go, you gotta make a determination.
Huh?
You, Roman, Jen,
That's all right.
November 5th, just like us going and mowing
Like some
lawns.
guidance from the board on what your hard line is.
What your hard line? My hard line for those potholes is tomorrow. I'm not kidding. So I mean, I don't know what Jim saw or somebody else, but I have honestly been going through that park for 90 days. And I mean, there's the north end roadway can take my truck easily half my wheel if I don't maneuver over on somebody's lawn and come out. And I mean, I just don't understand why someone can't come in there with some gravel and fill those potholes. And they could have done it 4 times and had it done okay, but if we're cutting people's lawns and putting it on their tax roll, why can't we do that with this?
The ordinance is written for the lawns for us to be able to do that.
Okay,
I don't
Let's change the
know
ordinance.
if we have, if you want that for us to go in there and apply asphalt, we're probably gonna need some legal grounds to.
I just wanna put some gravel in, I wanna put some rotten granite in there so that it holds in there. And get that done, you know, and if we gotta do it a couple times, I mean, I see that. I mean, how could they possibly be upset if we're gonna take care of their potholes? And then people aren't gonna be screaming about them anymore. Ed, you first?
You know, just touch base on another issue. You know, like about 1.5 years ago, when Lori was managing the park, they cleaned a lot of crop from where I lived in 54. They were gonna put 115 in, a couple from Northwoods. That's where that trailer was supposed to go. Upon trying to do that, they discovered there was no gas on that site. Now Lori touched base with WPS and they did assure her that the only way that would happen is if they came in and redid the entire park. Now I know that they will put all these plots down on the front row there. They got all these new vans in there for trailers. Only one of them has gas that's even existing there. The rest of them don't. They've already been decommissioned. How's the gas going in? Because they know you can't build it. It has to be a straight tank.
Can you find out that question? Okay, please.
And another thing was at the last.
We gotta keep this to a minimum. I got 2 more pages here to go on, okay?
Well, the other thing was, though, at the last meeting, they had said something about that they were gonna come in and redo our electric, they were gonna reschedule it. That has not happened.
Okay. In the back?
Yeah. Putting gravel down in that park, it ain't gonna work. Cause they keep doing that and it comes right back out.
And I totally agree.
Soon as it rains, it's done.
It happens all over the village, but I'm just trying to have some kind of an answer until it gets redone, just anything, so.
Why not get some of this cement that you just add water and put it in the hole?
I think that would pop out too, yeah, especially with the freezing and all that, yeah. Okay, so we'll jump on that. What else do we got?
For time frame then?
What
What do you wanna give them for a firm deadline?
How does 1 week sound?
1 week?
1 week?
1 week or we'll
Travis,
fix them at your expense.
Whatever you guys.
End of October?
October. Halloween.
So does that 2 weeks that Jennifer, you put out the notice to them saying that if they don't fix it by the end of the month, you're going to come fix it for them and then
On
bill them
November
for it?
1, we will be there.
I thought they added it, like.
October 22nd was pavement, I believe.
Was it?
Right?
October 2nd was the plan. It was October 2nd, they need a plan of action for the road repair.
Do you have a firm plan?
Yeah.
The POB, they provided POB designs for the western vertical road, north-south road, and the north road reconstructions.
So we've got plans for it, just no
It
action.
showed up today.
Yep.
It showed up today.
Yeah, this morning it did.
So, I mean, they were 2 weeks behind on.
I think they were, a lot of the reason why they haven't filled the roads is because they thought they were gonna get the new roads in. But when I talked to Sam Friday, he said it didn't look like they were going to, so they were gonna start filling the holes. So that way they were taken care of.
Okay.
They use Weimar.
So I think they thought they were gonna get it in, but
I mean, our road crew knows what to put in these things. I mean, and how often you gotta refill them and stuff, so.
So 2
We'll
weeks.
figure that out.
You have 2 weeks from today to fill the holes, or the village will fill them at their expense.
Yes.
Because people just gonna tear their cars up.
Yep, I agree. We'll get that fixed. Shane?
They don't have to have a gas in there, they can operate with electricity, you know, there's stove, the oven, and everything else.
True.
They don't have to have.
Yeah, I don't know what's in those trailers, so if they're gonna
I
put,
got another question.
Okay.
And then you got all these different people driving through the park, don't even have their driver's license.
yeah, well, that's EMPDs, that'll be EMPDs. That's-
Private road.
That's not gonna be, yeah, it's a private road also, so.
And then Travis, can you also tell them that we'd like to see their pavement completed by July 31 of 24? They would say, well, we have this plan and we're gonna put a road in. Yeah, well, how long have we been putting a road in? By 31 of 24, the road must
I
be
thought that
completed.
they would at least come in and lay that front road with pine bark, because that would pack down sufficient enough to not, tear up too easily.
No. Okay. All right, right, moving on here, let's see.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you guys,
Thank you.
thank you both.
One section.
Yep.
You want that, when does the license have to be renewed for them?
July 1st.
You want that before the license?
Well, where's the teeth on the license?
You guys are the teeth on the license and you just have to pull the trigger.
We tried to pull the
Yeah, I thought
trigger
that
and that got
we
yanked,
had to
yanked the other way. We can't do it.
Had no force.
Yeah, we can't do nothing with a
But
license. That's what I was told last year.
If, so if they
We
are
had never
not,
cited anything, but.
yep, if we're putting a stipulation on a time and they don't complete it, could we withhold the license because of that? And we probably can't.
I thought that's what was discussed.
Done deal. Let's get her done.
Because we
have
didn't
to
have
have-
any.
There weren't any,
So
yeah.
do we need that added as, because this just says update, do we need an actionable agenda item so we can do that at the next meeting?
I thought the board had agreed that by October 22nd. That was 2 meetings ago.
All right. We good?
Is that what we need?
So do we have to change
So are
that
we
to
making
July
them-
1 then? Is that correct? Or we won't renew their?
I would probably say that you would want to do it prior to that because July 1 would be the start of a new licensing period.
July,
Yeah.
June 15th.
June 15th, June 15th.
I mean, they should be,
Probably
we have
wanted-
the plans now, we're gonna be reviewing them, they'll be approved. They should be able to get on somebody's schedule for right away in the spring.
Okay.
So I
Alright.
would say, yeah, you would want it well in advance so that we can deal with it.
Yeah, and definitely before your meeting
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
Maybe June 17th.
Yeah, so June
June
15th.
15th, you're saying?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep, thank
Thank
you.
you guys.
Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
You too.
39, update on punch list for municipal center. A, extended warranty with Myron for landscaping.
Hey, isn't enough time.
I was thinking the same thing. It needs to be like the end of next summer.
Yep.
They just overseeded this in
August
September.
31.
I mean,
Okay. All right.
I mean, technically, we've never accepted the grass as being in, so a warranty period starts really once you accept it.
Yep.
So, technically, it's not even a warranty item, it's a,
come fix this.
it's a hasn't been
Actual
done yet.
punch list item.
Yeah, it's still
The
a punch
contractor
list.
hasn't.
He hasn't fixed his parking yet. It's
Where
supposed
they
to start
paid
with
for
that.
No,
Right as you walk out,
That's a
the
question from
asphalt
Myron,
sitting
but I
higher
don't
than
believe
the
they've been the entire amount.
concrete sidewalk.
Okay, so do we have a date? We're done? And
you can set a date, I was just clarifying that.
in the summer, you said?
Yeah, August 31.
August 31, okay. So there's no action on that, it's just, we gotta set a date. Now, new business number 40, just,
I got more on a punch list here.
all right,
Has each department held an all hands meeting for the respective area to look for deficiencies which have become apparent since moving in?
Like, what kind of deficiency are you looking for?
Well, you've got like, I don't know, 13 people in your department, right? So you've got 13 sets of eyes instead of one. Hey, yeah, this faucet doesn't work or the whichever. Or
Yeah.
there's a huge crack in this curve or the.
Or the air vent rattles.
Right,
Something
right.
like that.
Like you're probably not in Pam's office a lot. Maybe you are, I don't know, but you don't hear and see what's in somebody's offices as often as, just like they don't hear and see what's in the shop.
Sure.
so when I still walk in this bathroom, my butt sets off this faucet.
Yeah, that's.
And my butt doesn't go over the counter, it's like anybody else's butt. But it sets off, it sets it off. I mean, and I heard other people say it too.
It's
And I don't
reflective.
think that's right, so
It's reflective.
we're wasting a ton of water, I'll take my belt off, okay?
So literally, if you have your reflective vest on,
Literally?
and you
Literally.
walk by like the jug filler on the, it'll turn on as you walk by.
That's silly, okay, that's silly.
Sensor then.
Yeah, so they pick up the reflective material.
So it's all the little things, I mean, so the other day I was out here and they were putting in some cores or something. And I think I talked to Michael, several of us have noted that maybe those 4 signs should be 2 in the planter and then 2 in the rock. And, but they said they were gonna put them inside the posts. And I just think they're unsightly right now, they get moved around, they're kind of rusting.
Oh, the handicap signs.
Yeah.
Yeah, those aren't staying, there'll be a permanent cores that have to be put in.
It's actually, they actually installed 3 of the bollards already.
And
The other
they're
2 are,
doing
the
them all.
other 2 are going on the planter wall.
Okay, good, thank you. So
Jim is
Jimmy,
fabricating stainless steel brackets for those to mount to the planters, so they don't rust.
The HVAC units in the mezzanine, they have to have some kind of drainage or containment system installed. Whoever accepts the answer of it's dry now. Look under your car in July and look under your gate in October. You won't see a puddle under, well, maybe somebody's car you'll see a puddle under in October, but it's probably not condensate.
Sorry, Jim.
They're gonna leak again.
I don't want to interrupt you, but where do we go on that?
The pans,
The pans, are they
drain
installed?
pans, they're not installed yet, no.
Are they on order? Or-
We need to coordinate with the HVAC contractor, that way we're not upcharged by Myron for it.
So where we
It
are?
was not anything that was specified on the plans.
Right, no, I understand that.
So whoever designed the plan
Yeah. didn't include-
failed us,
Right.
right?
So
As
what-
as far as I'm concerned, there's no condensate collection in that area. And there should have been.
Yeah, agreed.
Right.
Other mechanical contractors, when we brought them in.
Yeah.
To look at the equipment, are like, well, there's no condensate right there.
Yeah.
That,
Next item.
There,
Yes. And then, so we've got, this has gotta be accepted by what, in a month and a half?
Yeah.
By December,
I think it's January, actually.
or January 2nd, or whenever we,
anything that's added to prior Jan 4
Yeah, January.
is on the warranty list.
So we just need to make sure
The
that,
list doesn't need to be completed before Jan 4. Anything that's
It just needs
added
to be
to it
noticed.
before Jan 4.
we got January 3rd, we can send them something that needs to be done.
Yep.
How about the correct color on the garage doors? Did that ever get taken care of?
Yeah, they're all, the garage doors were all replaced.
Okay.
Yeah, 16 panels showed up and they've
I thought-
replaced almost all of them. They
thought
actually were
two of
adding
them-
another, sorry.
There is a comment in here, two of them still has problem.
Yeah, that's not a color issue, that's a door opening issue, so,
So they gotta fix it.
yeah, they're still active, I mean, overhead door was
Oh,
here
yeah.
Friday, I think. But yeah, we're,
Did he fix the step? One of these step, there is a opening in there. So he messed it up, they gotta fix it. As you walk upstairs, take a look, each of them, you see which one is that.
In the vinyl that was added to the stair treads.
Yeah, the vinyl is, there's an opening between them, there shouldn't be any opening.
Trip hazard.
No.
It's a separation
It's
between the
just,
vinyl itself on the.
Here, just a visual.
Okay. All right.
But there shouldn't be.
And then I saw some notes in there about some leakage in some of the tile.
Yeah, there's some items, some condensate items in the kitchen that need to be addressed. One of it we think is the exhaust vent for the kitchen exhaust fan is not insulated. So as it penetrates the roof, it's condensating and then leaking back down to that tile, so. Okay.
Wasn't there a foundation cracking up?
Yeah.
Upstairs as well?
On that second level, there's actually 2 or 3.
that's on,
Yeah.
So he did fix
I
the
did
roof.
see John's remark that it's not an issue. But I would say that that's an
That's
issue.
from the architect. The engineer has actually never responded to my request.
Interesting.
Did he fix that roof? The lower roof?
The lower roof?
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
fixed,
nothing
right?
has been added to the roof scupper. Is that what you're referring to?
And
Jacques?
there's a downspout.
There was no downspout on that.
You gotta put it down, so if that water come down, it's gonna hit the building and build up. It's not gonna just come down nicely. That's not
We have
gonna
a
happen.
downspout that's exterior downspout?
There's roof scuppers on the south side. There's one off of the front entryway, and then there's one off of the entryway on the north of the training room.
We're gonna get an education on any exteriors, that's for sure. All the rest of them are interior. Yes, right, okay, so. But
I had
anything exterior, you gotta
experience-
keep a close eye on those, to see where that's gonna happen.
I had experience with that.
I have 2, Okay. And then, all the clearing the doors with snow and stuff, yeah, okay.
We are adding to the list on a regular basis. On another roof leak on Friday, right? So I mean, there are certain people's eyes that are always looking at stuff. You know, I mean, like, some days I probably shouldn't even come here because I find so many problems, like I should just go back home because I'm
It's got
literally
an
like
attention.
walk through the building and I'm like telling them like 2, 3 things in a day that I've seen. And of course, they've seen most of them already, but it's just, that's my nature is to see those things.
Gotta be aware of it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. it's done. Okay. All right, we good? All right, cool. New business, discussion and or action on annexation request from Green Tree Companies requesting a 33.459 acre vacant parcel in the town of Weston located just west of 161270 Ross Avenue be annexed to the village to allow for construction of a single family subdivision, PIN number 08228081040997.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Cronin, second by Pincinel. Anything else on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. A, adoption of annexation ordinance number 23-019. Ordinance annexing territory to the village of Weston, Marathon County, Wisconsin. That's all the same part.
Yeah, and that's, you adopted the ordinance.
I just love to read. 41, discussion and or action on adding assessment information to the website. So moved by Ermeling.
Second.
Second by what's your name again? Maggie's son. Yeah, Maggie's son. I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. So where was I, everybody? So we have a second. Anything else on the discussion?
Yeah, I would like to meet with village staff and an outside firm or several of them to see what our options are for this. So we get the most cost effective. So we do it once and we do it right.
Right. And my understanding, I talked to you today, right? Who did I talk to today about that?
Me,
You,
probably.
yep, hello.
And I talked to Greg after that, and
And?
he gave me some more information on cost. Just a estimate that if, from what I put in the RFC, where you can have the .org and the .com, and there you have to pay $1.20 for a request on the .com. He believes that with an extra cost of about $1,500, that's what he's seeing. It can all be combined and it can just be open for everybody.
But the initial putting it all in, who are those people?
Greg does that.
And with, what's the fee for that?
He said he can do it like that. He didn't say there was a fee.
We're already paying him to do that. We
Mhm.
just.
Okay.
I think
turn
it's
that
just a
box
matter
off.
of turning
Oh,
it on.
just turn it, okay, on.
Yep.
We're gonna turn the box back on.
Okay, good.
Well, it's never been on, but.
Right. All right.
So
So,
that 1,500 annual, Pam?
Likely, yeah.
Yes, that was an estimate that he, from the fee sheet that he got. It's assessor data. So if you go on assessordata.org or assessordata.com, you will kind of see what it's gonna look like. Well, the org,
.org will only give you the year it was built and square footage. If you want-
.com is a
.com
fee.
will give you.
With a
will
fee.
be A fee if, so if I go on there, I make an account, you charge me $1.20 per parcel.
yep.
For
You'll see
$1,500.
pictures.
Each
time?
Each
Time.
parcel, each time for me. It doesn't bill anything to the village.
Do we get any of that? Do we recoup any of that?
Negative.
Not even a tourism fee or something?
For this $1,500-ish, it removes a majority of our requests from all of these folks that sent something. in.
Yes, because we get requests both from the clerk's office gets requests and also the assessor does get requests from realtors mostly.
And are we obligated to answer?
Unless it's public record.
Oh.
Yep, we
done,
respond.
done.
They
Gotta
just
do
want
this,
to
yeah.
know the details of the house so they can list
Okay.
it.
Done.
But the .com side of this website or some of these other websites that are out there gives all of the information, so no one would have to call Pam.
Right.
We still
Okay.
welcome you to call Pam, she's pretty good, but
Yeah, yeah.
not for this.
Can we just put a link onto these sites that provide them then?
Oh, Dropbox too.
Yeah.
Dropbox and all. Absolutely.
What did you ask
Right,
them,
we can do
Tom?
that.
If
Yeah.
it's a resource that's available, can we just put a link to that resource rather than embed it?
There would be a link on our website.
So
So-
we paid so we're gonna pay $1,500 a year to put a link on our website that somebody clicks and goes to them?
The extra $1,500 would be so any realtor would be able to just go on and they wouldn't have to pay the $1.20 per request. They can just see it, like to give you an idea, when you go home tonight, look at the city of Wausau. There's a link, you click on the link, you can type anybody's address in the city of Wausau, you'll get a footprint of their house. It'll talk about what kind of siding they have, anything that you would probably see in a real estate listing. The year it was built, the assessed value, when the last time a permit was taken out. It gives you all the information about that home. how many stories there are, how many square feet it is, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms.
If they have chickens,
I'll have to think about that.
okay. 18 would have chickens, right? All right, where are we?
So then they,
No, but City of Weston has their own.
do they charge them?
If we were just to do the .com and the .org, the .com would charge the person that is requesting the information. They would go on their own login and password. So every time they wanted to get information about a home, they would have to put their credit card information and they would get charged $1.20.
Okay,
But
And they're
used
not
to
gonna do that, they're just gonna call Pam.
They,
And it's
we
gonna
used
cost
to
the village
charge.
at
for
least
the
$6.
special assessment levy.
We don't charge now.
Okay, we used to.
But we
used
would
to charge.
probably, I don't know, but if we have that availability on the website, we would probably direct people to do that. Well, never talked about that.
What are the other
part,
villages or Wassa, what are they?
They have it
do
on
this
there.
information?
but Wausau has theirs on there.
Schofield's there.
Schofield and Wausau have the same assessors, so
They don't charge.
And they don't charge.
they don't charge.
Instead of paying an internal person, you're paying just $1,500 ish, and it just happens outside the building.
They just have a different program. It's like Patriot,
Yeah.
something, Patriot Properties or something like.
Nice little pro-
You know all about that.
Yeah,
Oh, it goes right to
Yeah,
Tim.
right to Jim. There's somebody upstairs logging in.
Patriot Auto and Assessments.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, assessment. Oh, I love it. I love it.
.com, not
.com,
.org.
not .org. Yep.
You hit $1.20.
All right, so we.
So I'll make a motion to direct staff to add.
We already had a motion on the floor.
We have a motion on the floor, we're in discussion. So do we want to put an amendment to it
Restate the motion?
Amend it.
or that?
And amend the prior motion to add
Yes.
.com.
Well, I think what you're probably, I'm guessing what you're suggesting is that you amend the prior motion to add that it would not be the .com and the .org version, but just all one.
So there would be no cost
Yes,
to
the requester.
requesting the information, and the information would be complete enough to the requester that they would not have to make a separate inquiry to staff. In the interest of saving taxpayers dollars.
Can I second that with another amendment?
Where are we? I mean, it's amazing
Just
how.
so you know too.
It's amazing how we have to be so perfect on all this stuff, when we know what we're trying to get to. When all the shenanigans that happen, no offense, in Washington, you know, and here we are trying to be so picture perfect. Isn't that crazy? We're just trying to get this amendment right. We're just trying to get this thing.
The motion, and I
So where are we?
seconded it.
Bart made the motion, Steve seconded.
Okay,
But I do want to just add, if I can quickly, when you said at no additional cost to the taxpayers, it would be an additional cost
The
because it
additional
would
cost to the
cost.
taxpayer for the request, for
Okay,
each individual
okay,
request.
okay.
There would be a cost to the taxpayer that we would pay for the program for the $1,500, whatever that number is.
Yep.
To get this process in motion, but it would be a net savings to the taxpayer by saving the additional
Yes.
staff time to make the
Tons of money.
the hundreds of requests for you.
so amendment for you, or you want them to do it over here to?
Yeah, I
to
just
do the
have a
motion?
quick question.
Yeah.
So I agree to have this free of cost to a resident for the village of Weston. I don't agree on letting any realtor they want, pulling the information they want out of it for their own, they get paid to do that.
But they're doing it now.
What
But
if
you
you
don't
have
have-
someone that's looking to buy a home in the village of Weston?
And
that's
the
not
realtor
gonna
should
be
pull
a
that
resident?
information along with the pack and the listing.
So then they're gonna pay, well, we're gonna pay Pam. to
We're gonna
look
pay
that up.
Pam to do it.
Tell them to
'cause-
send them the site.
You can't.
Why not? We're not requiring a Freedom of Information Act to provide business interests with the documents that are getting paid to procure. I'd say as far as the residents go, yes, give them whatever they want. Anybody else?
That's not gonna fly. I mean, that, when requests that come into the police department on crimes from people that wanna make a film, we have to do it. It's absurd. It's absurd.
We're
Absolutely
not talking the
absurd.
same
Well,
thing,
and
but
it
you're
is-
talking business and personal.
It is,
So
it's
it is-
business making a film, and we've
It
gotta
is.
go through all the records. Yep.
I'm
can
sorry,
charge
it
for
is
your
open
time.
record,
Yeah, it's open record.
so
But you can charge for your time. We used
I
to
feel
You
the
can
same way
charge
you
the
do.
realtors for it.
but the time that it would take to give them those assessor cards falls within the,
We used to charge. for
oh,
your
Used to,
you mean
yeah.
like a charge of fee? Okay, I see
Yeah.
what
We
you're
used to
saying.
come in
Yep.
here and get them.
Yep.
Charge
Yeah.
a fee for them
That's
if they
what you
call.
Charge a fee for that.
The realtors used to get, the resident could come in and get the.
Yeah, the
information,
resident I'm fine with.
But a realtor had to pay.
Yeah,
That's what I was.
That's
If you're
standard
gonna
practice
charge
most
a
other
fee, then you
places.
should do the .com and the .org, and
Yeah.
then we just send them to the website.
I mean, if we're
And then they
paying
won't
for
even
it.
be bothering us.
Call the question.
Can I call the question?
You guys are short tonight. It's only 7:45.
And I wanna keep that only in there. We got a whole bunch left here.
You want to make an amendment?
Yep. Yes, we did.
I didn't, we didn't vote on it.
Well,
We
he
didn't
made
vote
the
on it.
amendment.
Well, he seconded technically, so I can't make an amendment to it.
Yes, you can.
Cronin did. I didn't second it. Cronin did.
I know, but you can make an amendment and then we would vote on that.
On the amendment, then go back to the original.
You're correct. I'm just
I
gonna
don't-
vote
I
against
didn't-
it. I'm just gonna save everybody's time.
Ooh, so bold. I love that.
I don't agree with the fact that they get paid to do this, everybody else.
No, we
charges
haven't
for it.
made a
I don't
motion
want
on an
them to
amendment.
charge more, but
Yeah.
So
So no to the realtors, yes to the chickens. I got it. I got it. Okay, where are we?
Right now, we just have we have a motion. There's been no amendment.
Okay.
I'm gonna get a goat too.
Let me know, I'm gonna get one. All right, where are we? Sorry.
Can you restate the amendment, please?
you said so fast, I didn't write it down. I have no cost to the requester is what I have.
I'm just gonna say this. I'm a little embarrassed for our audience right now. I feel really bad that
She
we're.
might not be mad.
Oh, she's
We're
never
fooling
been down
around.
to state
I
senate.
feel really bad that we're fooling around here. So we are much better than this normally. We're usually out of here by 6:30.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a new speaker next
Yeah.
week.
Okay, yeah, please. All right, where are we?
Well, we got a motion and a second and somebody wants to make an amendment. That's where we're at.
And I hear Pam said it was happening so fast she couldn't write it
I couldn't write it down that
Jim
fast,
down. But Jim is here.
but I did put no cost to the requester. I got that part down.
So I'd like to make my amendment to no cost to a resident.
But how can they can't,
If it's legal, just say if it's legal. If it's legal, then we can do it. If it ain't, then we can't.
you can have a fee if it's there, but how is the resident going to get past the .com? If we don't, if we charge for this fee, you know, for this, it's under .com, but not the other one, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
I don't write websites. I have no idea. I just know it's possible. I don't know. I don't know what's there.
well, they'd have to ask if it was a realtor or a resident.
Well, and
you'd
then
have
if
to
you're a
put in your
realtor, you just
address.
enter in your own address, fraud the information, and probably get around a fee anyway. I don't know. I mean, there's ways around everything.
I mean, I would like to charge the realtors, not. the
Well, if we're
resident.
gonna incur cost to it, 1,500 a year, I mean.
Make your amendment.
So just as you said, at no cost, no.
To a resident.
No.
Okay, so I'll second your amendment.
Hold it, we got something here from Sean.
Oh, Sean.
Yeah, and it's really not my area
Yeah, what?
at all, but so we currently have a software that we use for park reservations and we use for the pool. And the resident thing is based off GIS.
Yeah.
So you literally use a GIS map, you map the village, and then, so we sell resident prices only to Weston residents and it comes with non-residents, so they enter their address. And of course, yes, you can fudge it, you know, I mean, there's ways around everything, you know, but I'm sure there's probably a way to do that, but I'm not sure just because I don't know the software.
Make a question?
To vote?
No, I'm gonna ask Pam. She's the one that gets the phone calls.
go ahead.
and has-
Go ahead.
What are your suggestions? What would you prefer?
Well, it is,
An unlisted number.
it does help.
We
We don't have
lost
to,
opportunity.
to answer those
I had 1
requests.
minute
They're
on it
not
until Jasper started
terribly
talking.
troublesome. So it's not like it takes a large part of our day. We probably don't even get that many per week to really chew up a lot of our time, honestly.
I guess, yeah.
And I know Greg gets them,
Mhm.
and he is more, because he is the assessor, he can converse with them more about the properties and tell them more detail about the properties than we can. We just grab the stuff off the computer and email it to them.
So if you got a phone call and we're not gonna charge a fee, you can just say, go to this website.
That's
You
what I
don't
would
have to
prefer.
sit and talk to them. You can just say, Because I guess it would be defeating the purpose if you are doing some manually and sending, and others are going to the, you know, on the
Both places, and we get all of our requests, I'm just gonna say we get all of our requests through email, and they're all from realtors.
Well, that's how many residents actually look up their property unless they are thinking of selling or something like that. I guess I still would go with a fee, but then I'm thinking you might get more phone calls. I don't think the realtor's gonna call you just to save $1.50, see?
I don't think they will, because they'll probably charge it to the, whoever they're representing.
Charge $10.
Point of order, call the question.
Question called, all those in,
Voting.
We gotta vote on the amendment first.
we're voting on the amendment?
Which was?
Why don't you repeat your amendment?
See the original motion first.
The original, I just said motion to approve, or that's what Barb's motion was, as presented.
Yep.
And I seconded it.
There's no, it says official language to be determined.
You are correct. I
You
apologize.
can't make a motion not to be determined.
Okay, I will make my motion to be that we would charge of, do the $1.50 or whatever fee. That's what. That way we're.
Charge a fee to.
For
Charge a fee for-
everybody. The residents very rarely ever call or check on that. It's realtors and they're gonna.
Motion by Ermeling,
Second.
I'll second.
second by Hardinger. Any more in the discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
So carried.
you had two people not vote,
Who was the other one?
Jamie and Husheng.
Okay.
Well, I didn't say no.
Yep, he said yes.
Roll call vote.
Roll call vote.
Maloney,
Yes.
Yes.
Cronin,
Yes.
Ermeling,
Yes.
Hardinger,
Yes.
Pincinot,
No.
and Wyland.
Yes.
So carried.
I will make it known on public record that this will make zero impact and not move the needle.
Then we can.
I don't think the motion was clear enough, if I'm being honest. And I'm not sure why I voted yes, truthfully. I'm not even sure what we just voted on.
So
I'm so beyond confused by this entire conversation right now.
Same.
I almost would rather defer this to the next meeting if it needs to go to a committee.
We're this far into
That's
this?
fine.
So are we talking, just, I wanna make sure, we're talking about 41, discussion and or action on adding assessment information to the website, right?
Correct.
39 groups have said yes.
And we're
We've-
adding.
We've all said yes. What's the problem here?
Because if you make it with the $1.20, I don't care about the $1.20.
I don't either.
But I assure you
Yeah.
that a majority of those people that are making that request aren't going to pay your $1.20.
Okay.
Just put it on there because, so the cheapest.
So add the $1,500, get it on there,
$1,500, put it
and
on there,
save the time of our clerk's
Save the
office.
time of the clerk's
Bingo.
office.
I mean, I'm telling you right
That's not what
now,
was approved.
that is crystal, it isn't?
No, what was
Barb
approved
approved
was-
what? The $1.20. She approved the
What a
two,
stinker.
the .org and the .com website.
Put it right out there.
And I heard you say it.
The $1.
So aren't you
All right.
just sending them out to the website?
Yeah. But the
What we
website is
would
going to
do-
charge you.
What we would do,
We were charged before though.
what we would do,
Yeah.
if
We
there's
gotta-
motion stands, what I would do and what I would instruct the clerk's office to do is send them to the website.
Okay.
I would just send them to the
We're
website.
done.
That's exactly-
We're gonna move on. And if we wanna re-vote on this, we can bring it up at the
Well,
next one.
if it gets to be a problem, we can always address it.
Yes, absolutely.
And the clerk
Confirm
will
the
True,
website.
if we get, I mean,
My only question, Pam, would be, when is this gonna be active?
that I
Greg
don't know
can
the
turn it
answer to, but he said he can do it right away, so.
All right,
So
40.
How do we give you the 1,500, or how do we do the billing, or how do we?
The 1,500 doesn't apply when
No,
we're
not-
charging
not
the
with what we
dollar,
just did.
we're charging
No.
the $1.20.
They will, the realtors will pay it.
All right.
And they're gonna send it to the website.
We'll send them to the website to get the
Sound
information.
right.
Point of order, 42.
Yep.
Discussion and or action on RFP for village attorney services.
I move to direct staff to send out an RFP for village attorney services.
Second.
Motion by Cronin, second by Pincinel.
Discussion.
Discussion.
Why are we doing that?
Because we spent $47,000 on attorney fees last year.
If you think we hire somebody else, we wanna spend that much money?
I don't know, we don't know that until we get an
Well, I
RFP.
know that because I have seen it, it's gonna be the same, maybe higher costs, depending who you hire.
Could be,
Yeah,
that's why you send out an RFP.
but
We do it for all of our other
I
projects.
don't think that's the only. Never mind.
Oh, okay, so to further that discussion. On a business, very directly related note, there's. I mean, there's not a lot of resources, especially locally, that are familiar with contract law, that are familiar with a lot of things that go on with the village has to deal with. I'm not saying that there isn't somebody else, all I'm saying is a resource that we have been using, I'm not saying that we haven't overused it. 'Cause I know that there has been kind of a staff thing of like, on the previous administrator, we'll just throw it, for things that we have a board that said, well, I don't really think we needed to do that or spend that time on that. But what I'm saying is, it's a resource that I hope we're not trying to lose.
We bid everything. What don't we bid?
It may even be the same attorney with a different rate.
Yep.
Well, the
Exactly.
thing is, Mr. Chairman, anything he has done, we ask him to do it, he didn't do it on his own.
Correct.
Everything. And his job is not to say something to please us, if that's what you're looking for. His job is to tell us what's the law and what's the ordinance. Our job is to take his advice or not to take it. And we have done that. There are times he advises, we just ignore his advice and make a decision differently. So if you're looking for attorney to please you, that's not gonna happen.
I don't think, this was brought up by several trustees. And I don't think an RFP is rude. I don't think an RFP is as wild as you're making it out to be. So if it was such a wild thing, then why wouldn't we just pick the same contractor all the time? Why would we put out anything for bids if we feel so good? So in other words, if we don't do an RFP, I actually find more fault with that. And who's to say we could do 6 of these in the next 20 years and it's the same firm every time? And we get a better rate. We don't know that.
Example, on the last Public Works project where Becker Hoppy was like 200,000 and MSA was like 490 for the same project. I don't remember what the exact project was, but we've used the other one. We've used both of them.
Yeah.
More MSA though.
More MSA, and they were like double the cost.
Yeah.
And they actually scored lower on the evaluation.
But MSA, the other project, they were lower. That's what they got the project. And the way Michael is doing it, he ranked them based on the cost, which is one of the highest part, and the rest of them based on their experience with the village.
So what is our current?
But with this attorney, he has a lot of project, he's working on it. Changing the horse in the middle of the race is gonna cost us money. Because whoever we bring in, we gotta educate. It's not gonna just.
If we bring in,
Okay.
if.
I agree with you. If we bring somebody else, we gotta pay for education.
When was the last time we did this? Well, it seems like every time. we
It was
turn around.
was it 2018?
No.
No.
No, the hostile one? The hostile one was like 19 or 20. No, it was Wally was still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they did that. Well, I'm just speaking my thought, that's all I'm saying.
I'm fine. You certainly can. Any more on discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of having an RFP for attorney services, say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Opposed?
No.
Okay, so is that a 5-2? Jasper, where are you?
Abstaining.
You abstained?
I have to,
That's no.
Because?
I
Same
have
as
to,
no.
for business interests. I have to, I can't be a part of this discussion.
So you personally are using Matt as an attorney?
I can't disclose it.
Okay, then you shouldn't have been talking at all.
Well,
You should have
I
said, you
tried
should
to
have,
allude to it.
you should have said nothing at all. You should have actually went and sat out there.
Okay.
Now's the time not to tell us that you were abstaining.
I don't have him actively retained, no.
It does not matter. If you're gonna do that on that basis, then you should have been out there. You should not have been talking at all. I'm just saying that. Otherwise, you can't abstain unless you have an issue.
That is my, well, okay, I agree.
All right.
I apologize.
So let's do this again. So one off, so we have 6 votes. Yes,
Yes.
no, no,
No.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, 4 to 2. And with one abstain, one abstain, okay? All right, let's move on. Let's see. 43, discussion and or action on procedure for available Class B non-reserved liquor licenses. Pam, that's yours?
Can I just ask a question on this? And I probably should have asked you before.
Sure.
So I guess I have some concern.
It's like a
If I
chicken.
understand this right. So when we get a regular one back, it's always an issue when we come in and have somebody who's coming into town, you have to pay that $10,000 fee. So what you're saying is you would open it up when a regular one becomes available. And you would on a lottery system to somebody who already has a license here?
Whoever, if a non-reserved license becomes available, we would put it out there for anybody who has a reserve license. That they would be able to, on a lottery or whatever is
When you
decided.
say reserve, what does that mean?
The reserve is the $10,000 license.
Right, it
And
gives you,
You
now-
only pay that one-time fee, so I guess
I know, but some don't, right?
Yes.
Some don't, so how would you,
Non-reserved do not.
so would you just save that reserve? I mean,
Well, I'm just wondering, because I know that from an economic development standpoint, if we don't have a license available and somebody has to potentially pay $10,000 for it, sometimes that's an issue. It has been an issue in the past.
exactly, but how can we save, so one opens up.
But if
correct me
they
if I'm wrong.
already have a license, I guess I don't
So,
understand why we would give them a regular one.
Sometimes bar owners, and this has happened in other municipalities, that have a reserve license are interested in a non-reserve because potentially if they sell one day, part of the contingency of the sale is to pick up the license that they currently have. So to sell your property or sell your business might be more desirable if the person that's buying it knows they don't have to pay a $10,000 fee.
So if you're a reserve license holder, you paid $10,000, you sell your business, whoever you sell the business to has to pay
the
$10,000.
Again.
Okay.
And it's
We
not,
just, what's the fair way going about it then?
I don't know, I'm just concerned from a standpoint of with some of the stuff that's going on and that we don't know about, and all of a sudden I don't have a liquor license available for somebody, or there's a $10,000.
I know, but so we have people out there that have paid the 10, because that's what they had to do. And now they don't get the chance to get that one. And now all of a sudden we have one available for anyone that's just coming in.
it's allowed by the, it's allowed to
Yeah.
do this. And other municipalities do it. Right now, we have, out of our reserve licenses, I believe we have 5, so we still have 6 open reserve licenses. We could probably pick up another based on our population that has grown. So we do have reserve licenses out there. It's just a more of a, so in the past year that I've been in here, I've seen a non-reserve license come up, and I've seen long-standing establishments who have had reserve licenses maintaining that reserve license. I know they paid the 10,000 already, but the non-reserve goes to somebody brand new coming into the community, which I'm not saying is fair or unfair, but I just am putting it out there for our people that are establishments who have been there for a long time, having an opportunity to have the non-reserve license.
And it would be a lottery only. I mean, you can't, just indiscriminately pick. So it has to be all the licenses that are 10,000 are paid would have the opportunity through a lottery to get theirs reduced to,
Non-reserve.
non-reserve. I don't think that's a big deal. I mean, when you look at what this state pays versus Minnesota pays, for anything liquor related over in Minnesota, it's unbelievable what they have to pay over there, or New York, anywhere.
And
So
say-
10,000 isn't a whole lot.
So
to pay.
say we have a non-reserve that becomes available and we put it out for the lottery and a reserve, somebody on the reserve gets it, then their reserve license is the one that opens, and the next establishment that comes in pays the 10,000 and gets that reserve license.
Okay, I just wanted to understand it, and I didn't based off of reading this.
Yeah.
So.
It took me a bit too, but go ahead. I'm sorry, Barbara's first.
Yeah,
Barbara's first. I'm sorry.
I guess at one point in time, did we not, if for whatever reason my mind is going, that if there was somebody, establishment, a new establishment came in and there was only the $10,000 reserve license, that they kind of, we actually wrote it off at one
There was a
point.
grant program, but I don't.
Yeah.
It's not around anymore. There's no grant. You have to pay the 10,000.
Okay, because I can remember there was some.
We had one at one point, but I don't
That they
know
were
if it's
going
legal
to,
anymore.
it was more like a supper club type
Well,
thing or
I
a.
think that there is a exclusion for some sort of a bona fide club or something, but I don't know all the details on that, but it's not just for.
Well, I know it wasn't just a bar. It had to be something a little more than a bar. I mean, it was.
And I think that one, they have to be like in business for like 5 years, or I don't remember all the details, but it's not just like a new establishment coming in.
Okay.
I mean, we might have a non-reserve open up and send it out to the reserves, and we might get nobody that wants it. You know, but it's just that opportunity.
Yeah, makes sense. I didn't think about resale.
Okay. So.
Motion to approve.
Did you want to add?
Well, I think I had the license for that Mexican restaurant. I don't think they pay again, did they? I can't
No,
remember.
one time, the 10,000.
Right,
I thought
they
they
pay at one
transferred it.
time.
Yes, but if you sell it.
I didn't sell it.
I know, but if you sell it,
No, you can't transfer a license. There's only very specific reasons to transfer a license, bankruptcy,
right, but
death.
if a new person would have to pay the $10,000.
But they leased the place, they didn't even buy it.
The only way that you wouldn't have to is if the LLC or whoever owns it is still, holds the seller's permit. If somebody's leasing it under that name and they still hold the seller's permit, then the license just stays as is. But it has to be the same name of the seller's permit.
I am not sure.
Okay.
I bet you inspection team will see a visit
The
tomorrow.
lease doesn't cover.
It's Tuesday,
Motion
you
to
dang right.
approve.
Make sure you fix those potholes too.
I do ask though, I'm
I thought
sorry,
we're already in there.
I do ask
We were
that,
discussing without a motion on the floor. Okay, go ahead.
I do ask when you do make a motion to include the other items I had in there of how you want to pick.
So motion by Ermeling, second by Cronin.
And I move to approve the change to procedure for available Class C non-reserve liquor licenses by offering future available Class B non-reserve liquor licenses to existing license holders who would hold a reserve Class B liquor license. The procedure to choose who would receive the available Class B non-reserve license would be lottery.
Lottery.
Second.
Second. On discussion, any more? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so
Nay.
carried. Nay? Nay for Pincinel. 44, discussion and or action on Badger Book Memorandum of Understanding.
Move to approve the Badger Brook Memorandum of Understanding.
By Pincinel,
Second.
second by Wyland. Anything on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 45, discussion and or action on purchase of animal impoundment services agreement between the Humane Society of Marathon County, Inc. and the Village of Weston. What's your pleasure?
Move to approve the purchase of animal impoundment services agreement between the Humane Society of Marathon County and the Village of Weston for a term of 3 years beginning January 1, 2024. And a contract price not to exceed the actual costs up to $18,500 per calendar year.
Can we also add to fund for the remaining of 2023 as well?
In the original motion. Why?
We don't have it in our budget.
Okay, hold on, I'll second your motion.
No, yes, we do have it. It's in tourism. Where was it? Where are we getting, oh no, licensing, I mean, licensing.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
there's a budget surplus this year. So we do have room in the budget for other items. We have a very large budget surplus this year. So we're able to, about 173,000 was budgeted right now that we're not estimating on spending, so.
I think
5,000 or whatever we need for
Right.
cats for this year.
it would
we'd be able-
behoove us to not start right now. I think it's starting right now.
Since there's funds available,
Yes.
we could. It'd be best
would
to
like to-
actually start now, and get all the cats, so next year we're not over.
I'd like to sign this for a 3-year contract, so it's this, and then let's do another motion to do from October 16 to.
Why don't you just amend your motion to change the date?
I don't think we can do that per the
Well,
agenda.
their contract doesn't say that they wanna start. It says, net contract price, yeah.
It was a
says-
sample contract and I think I put 2024 in there, but we can change that.
Oh, I thought this came from them, so.
It was a contract that, a form that came from them and I updated it.
Very well.
Page 20.
So we can prorate it to 23.
So I will amend my motion.
Okay.
To have the contract start date be October 17, 2023.
Second amendment.
Jamie had it already. So, second by Wyland. Any more in the discussion?
To clarify,
Moving
still.
on the amendment.
Yep, still actual cost not to exceed 18,500. So if there's 60 cats in the next 60 days, it's fine, but it's still.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Now,
Now the
the
motion
original
as
motion
amended.
as amended.
Second.
There was already a
No,
mo,
no,
I
you
already,
just gotta
you
vote
mo-
on
made
it.
a motion, I seconded.
Yep. Okay, seconded. On the discussion?
My only question is, we're funding this through tourism or something else. This isn't a program that funds itself at all.
It's through pet
Pet licenses.
licensing
Yeah,
and
funds through
$5,000 in room tax.
Yep.
Okay,
So it is kind of self.
that's my question.
Good question. Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Discussion and or action on the use of the municipal center training room for blood drives in 2024.
Move to approve.
Motion by Husheng, second by Jamie. Any more on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 47, discussion and or action on wage and compensation study for public administration associates for directors, deputy directors, and superintendents.
Okay, so we reviewed this at the HR committee. Actually, Jamie was chairing that because I was still on the job site. So my only concern, which was voiced at the HR committee, because what we're basically doing is we're moving the scale. We're approving the recommended scale for these positions by the firm that did the study. So let's say the scale is, I don't know, well, where we're sitting right now in our current pay structure, the people in these positions are at the median, right, the middle of the line, okay? If we approve this as presented by the survey, the study, it's gonna move that scale to the right or higher up than what the current scale is. So what that means is, rather than the people that are in these positions right now receiving the middle of the higher the low end, it's gonna move that scale, so it now these people in these positions are gonna be at the low end of the new scale. And that can change our budgets anywhere from $14,000 to $46,000. It will change it regardless.
This
Minimum
year, so by approving this, we're also approving the wages?
No, we're approving the movement of the scale. We're not approving wages, but by moving the scale, these people will now be on the low end of the median. of their-
Actually, we're
their studies.
approving the study.
Yeah, this item is
There's
the
two parts
study.
of it. There's two parts of it.
Yeah, this part, we're just approving the study.
So.
So I'll make a motion to approve the study as submitted with no action to be taken on it at this time. The new administrator should review the study and provide a recommendation to the board in early 24 based on her discretion.
Your second half was what? Your what?
Motion to approve the study as submitted with no action to be taken on it at this time.
So.
The new administrator should review the study and provide a recommendation to the board in early 24 based on her discretion.
There's a motion by Pincinel,
Second.
second by Wyland. Any more in the discussion?
Yes, so that means we're not gonna make any changes. We changed everybody else's pay structure this year. We didn't change any of the directors or any of the higher ups because we were waiting for the study. So if we go off of this, that means we will not make any changes to the directors this year.
We did a 5% across the board to everybody. And we did not change
I'm
everybody's.
just clarifying.
Oh, I know, but I
Because the
don't.
next question on the agenda is whether or not we're gonna move the pay.
That's a different
So
discussion.
that's the difference between the two of them.
Correct. This is just to approve the study as submitted. but take no action on it at 8:14.
Until the administrator.
Until the administrator looks at it. We can talk about moving pay plans after, but changing pay raises, that's a different agenda item. Right now, we're just approving the study completed by Public Administration Associates.
Well, then you need to amend your motion to just say that. Because right now, the way that you requested it is that the administrator is gonna make the adjustments, which doesn't go to the administrator, they come to us, or come to HR committee, then come to us.
The administrator.
We just want to approve the survey.
Administrator would be on it, yeah.
Yeah. Because the next one would really, that would be more for the administrator, I feel like. This is just, like you said, it's just approving the study, that we've received it, we're good with it. Nobody's got any questions about it, we don't need to pull anybody in here about it. So 48 and 49, so we're on 48, right?
We're on 47.
47.
We're on 47.
So the wrong one, so 47 and 48.
No, we're just 47. Just 47, just one.
Jesus. So we got 3 different action items on the same study.
Yes,
They're different.
they're all
I
different.
understand.
So right now, we're just approving that the study was completed. We're not taking any action on it.
Okay, I'll second that. Unless somebody already did. Sorry.
Jamie already did.
Great. It's very confusing.
I know, that was up till 2 in the morning. You got an email at 1:30.
Well, I know, we went through it at the HR committee, we had an hour-long discussion on these 3 things, so. Sorry.
Any more in discussion?
So is the motion just, well, I didn't hear Jim state that. So when you said that there was a motion and Jamie seconded it, his initial motion stated no action until January 1st. So that's why I'm asking before we
No
go.
action to be taken. Motion to approve the study as submitted with no action to be taken on it at this time. The new administrator should review the study and provide a recommendation to the board in early 24 based on her discretion. I didn't say that we couldn't take other action or we couldn't do things on 48 or 49, but I'm asking the new administrator to look at this study specifically when she gets here.
Not sure, can we do that?
Well,
It's not on the agenda. What is the
This-
agenda is just the study.
The
Yeah.
study directly
I'll just say
relates to
study.
items 48 and 49. So if you're gonna say that, then there's no point in
There's
even
no
having a
48,
discussion on
49.
48 and 49.
Yeah, exactly.
But there is, because
I
48
disagree.
48 is approve the job descriptions. I have changes to the job descriptions that I think were missed by PAA.
Well, that's gotta come to the HR committee then.
Well, it was missed by the HR committee too, so I'll make the recommendation. and
There
come
was a
back
lot
to
the
you.
HR committee had to review.
Mr. Maloney, the motion should be what's written up there.
Yeah, that's just a review of the study of the Public Administration Associates as submitted.
So if you state what you want changed on them, because I don't think that
When we get to that
The
item, we'll have
place
to
for-
talk about that one.
yeah, the place for, is probably not HR either. Because they're not gonna know what those positions are doing.
That's something that's 48 though, we're still 47, no?
Yeah,
48
that's
job
what we're
description.
talking about, just that should be your motion.
Or we don't approve it and we just let it,
You can.
Let the administrator bring it back. I'm going, if you want the administrator to approve or disapprove, why are we approving or disapproving?
No, 'cause
Just
it's on the
table
agenda
it
for
until
discussion.
why don't you table it until the administrator, the new administrator can review it?
This is a very, very big issue. And to have the new administrator not part of it, it's almost like we're tying some people's hands.
Well, that's.
That's my concern as well. That's why I don't. That's always part of the discussion that we had there is agreeing to adopt this and accept it without really.
I mean, I cautioned our past administrator on kind of, I felt hurrying this along, and now I feel like we're kind of doing it in a ghost setting or in limbo. And, yeah. I won't be voting for any of them. So, and I don't need to declare that, but, so whatever the motion is, let's move on to that. So 47 is what? The motion is what?
Motion to approve the study as submitted with no action to be taken on it at this time.
Okay.
I will amend that so that it removes the action on the administrator.
Okay. Motion by Sentinel, second by Wyland.
Yeah.
On the question, any more? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No.
Aye.
So let's just make sure we have a no, yes or no?
No.
Yes or no? No, yes or no? No, 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 well, I know, but I heard some yeses.
There was this one.
Okay, so yes and yes. So we had 5 and 2. So we had a yes on Pincinel and a yes on Wyland.
Yeah.
And then the 5 no's. So that's 47. So does it move to 48 or 49?
I don't think so.
Well, it's on there. Discussion and interaction on job descriptions for accounts payroll, and human resource specialist and director of GIS and technology as recommended by the Public Administration Associates. Let's just do it. I'm looking for a motion to
Refer this, I make a motion to refer this to a later date when the new administrator can review and discuss it.
I'll second that.
motion by Ermling, second by Hardinger on the discussion.
Yes.
Yep, go ahead.
Can we amend the AP payroll HR specialist position? In there, it states, run the farmer's market, include a mailing process and processing vendor applications, responding to questions, make sure the required paperwork is filed with the state and county, processing all EBT debit, credit tokens. We hired a market manager for that.
Okay.
So while she may be overseeing that, that's not what the job description directly states. And that's probably just a disconnect between the timing of when we hired PAA and when we hired a market manager.
Would we have enough time to change that in spring before the market opens? Well, I mean,
Administrator looks at it.
if we're gonna change it now, could not the administrator or a team look at it then and still have it done before the next season?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
But
okay.
we're approving the job description as presented, right?
That's if it's approved. She said she's putting it, her amendment was to table, or I mean, her motion was to
And I'm
table.
good with that, but I would ask that we look into that specific paragraph and see if that needs to be changed based on actual duties performed.
Can you email that to the new administrator to ask her to do that when she's reviewing this?
Record right now.
Okay, any more on discussion?
To the record notes to have them send, look at an email?
The president should be the one that does that.
Okay, I will. Okay. So right now, we're on a motion of, let's see, postpone by Ermeling, second by Hardinger. Any more in the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 49, discussion and or action on adoption of changes to 2023 pay grid / pay plan as presented in the compensation report from Public Administration Associates for directors, deputy directors, and superintendents.
Make the motion to table that until the new administrator can review it.
Motion to table by Hardinger, second by Ermeling on the discussion.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, the only person can take this issue back.
Is yes, yep.
I think we should be deferring it. not
It's
tabling
deferred,
it.
not
If you table it, you in the same meeting.
Do it.
Defer, not table.
Defer, yeah.
Defer,
Defer.
okay, so defer. Correct. Thank you. And hearing no more discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 50, discussion and or action on adoption of the 2024 village pay plan.
Defer.
Move to defer by Zagami, second by Wyland. I left you really good. So I heard you before Hardinger. Any more on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 51, discussion and or action on Ross Avenue, Metro Drive to Alderson Street, engineering design proposals.
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Zagami.
Second.
Second by Hardinger. Any more on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 52, discussion and or action on well 7 and 8 change order number 6.
Approve. Motion to
Motion to approve by Hardinger, second by Zagami. On the question. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 53, discussion and or action on Weston Avenue, Ryan to County Road J, water main rock blasting change order.
Move to approve.
By Zagami, second by Hardinger. On the discussion, if you do, I did get a call, and that call also went to Husheng on the thought of moving this forward. You know, certainly not trying to take the vote away from this trustee group team. Is I said yes. You then called Husheng, and he agreed too. So I certainly would never want to do that, except for the sense of urgency. So question?
Is the estimate gonna be higher or lower than what's? I think it's gonna be lower.
I think it's gonna be lower.
By $5.
Can can we make a motion, or can I amend the motion for a cost not to exceed $29,923?
Second the amendment?
Well, is that not in the motion?
No.
Well,
Okay.
it's a unit price cost, so
Okay.
I guess
Yeah.
the one thing is for some unknown reason. They do find something. We're gonna have to come back here and say, hey, we hit a substantial piece and now we need
Okay,
another
so-
5,000.
My follow-on question then, in the sense of urgency in finishing this project, if it does exceed the cost that we're limiting you to now, how long would it take for us to reconvene to approve the new and to get it back out there? How much of a delay in project would we put on that?
I'd have to tell them to stop digging and I guess if you guys are available that day.
We have to have a special meeting,
Yeah,
right? Okay, so we could delay it at minimum a week.
Or
Still gonna have to
two.
do it.
Probably-
You gotta go to DNR.
Yeah.
probably a few days.
I think the problem is he's gonna do blast,
Yeah.
and he's gonna blast from one end to the other.
Yeah.
And we don't know how much he's gonna dig out.
Yeah.
This is an estimate based on the few test boring they have done out
Yeah,
there.
of course.
Which is reasonable, I would say, but with the rock excavation, I think it's unreal to say, okay, it's gonna be 30,000 cubic yard.
Yeah.
Or 30,000 ton,
It's tough to
that's
say.
not gonna happen.
It's tough to say. My concern is limiting him and delaying the project because we'd have to reconvene to approve a new change order.
Okay, fair enough, I'll rescind my motion.
I'll rescind my second.
Alright, so
We gotta,
we're all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so carried. 54, discussion and or action on engineering services contract to update the village's stormwater quality model.
Move to approve.
Move to approve
Second.
by Zagami, second by Hardinger. Any more on the discussion?
How often do we have to do this?
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
every year. Aye.
Opposed, so carried. 56,
Okay.
Well, Michael does it almost every year though, to keep up with the grants that we can get.
55, discussion and or action on bid results for recycled asphalt crushing.
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Zagami,
Second.
second by Hardinger.
Based on the recommendation of the work, and estimated cost is
Yeah, what's the cost to actually truck it?
82,600.
To truck it, so when we bid these on like a public works project, we bid it on I guess there's a placement cost. But how do I put it? The placement cost plus, so the placement cost plus the tonnage is usually somewhere around, I wanna say $10 a yard. When we're buying it from somebody on site, or they're trucking it still from a quarry somewhere. So they're still paying $7 plus per ton and trucking it from that location. So we generally see that we do spend about 50%. The base course portion of the project can vary about 50%. Just because we're using our material and it's close. We also generally require that any asphalt removed comes back to our shop, so.
Yeah, we recycle and being efficiency and saving money, actually.
Yeah.
And that's the lowest price, I think, between three
Yeah.
bed they had. That's a good number, 82,000. I can't read that.
82, 567, 50.
567. Thank you. $82,567.50.
So hearing no more discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 56, discussion and or action on holiday decorations for the village of Weston.
What holiday? Like a report birthday or what are we doing?
Are we also talking about the tree too, or not?
Yeah.
Is this Christmas we're talking about?
Why, it just says holiday, it's gotta be a
I know
report
what
birthday.
you're getting at. Christmas.
So I believe there was a
You
discussion.
can't say that anymore.
It's,
Of course
yeah,
you
you certainly
can.
can, you certainly can. That's really back. I think it's, I don't know if we've got a tree already, but we wanna put a tree up on top of the door. And then possibly some stuff. Jen said we might have some stuff around.
We had.
We had.
We had a lot of stuff. We used to decorate up the old center.
We had it at the park department and now where is it? Excuse me?
No, we don't have all those holiday decorations. We do have some winter banners yet. We did retain those, so we have some holiday banners that we used to put up on Schofield Avenue and around the hospital. But as far as lights, we have season's greeting signs, we don't have any of that anymore. That's been gone for more than 10 years.
Gotta be
That was a
careful.
thought, or ARPA funds. I know I talked to Roman after the last meeting and he had mentioned that a lot of those light poles on Schofield Ave have electricity ran to them for holiday decorations if we ever wanted to do that.
Yes.
There's a lot of other communities across the state that do that. I don't think it would be a bad
We
idea.
go where from where?
Maybe just Schofield Ave.
Yeah, I know, but from where to where?
Walgreens down to where the new Aldi's is.
Get some bids or get some, what, I mean, I have no idea what this stuff costs.
Yeah,
I don't either.
That's
The
my
light
question. What are we
pole
talking
ones,
about?
I mean, unless you looked it up, the light pole ones are like 500. Like the banners that go across the street are like 3,000 to 5,000.
Yeah, but
No,
we already have holders for banners, right?
No, no, we're talking
No,
about the
no, no,
little
like if you
flags.
put like a big Merry Christmas across the street.
I think
Like from one pole to the next.
streets got the banner.
Expensive doing it
I
across
can,
Schofield Avenue.
I don't even care what the design is. In my mind, some lights on the poles and keep it, you know, a little bit contained and not out, but a banner across the road. I don't know if it'll handle the wind and some of the different things, and plus it ain't lit up. So I think that festive feeling is lights. That's just my opinion. I mean, I didn't know we'd be talking, well, I
I
didn't know.
guess the other, when you say send out, a bid, are you asking that you would want someone to install them, or is that something that?
There's nothing for me to refer.
Well, it's just here for discussion, so we
I
can, whatever
understand that,
direction
but
we
what are
want to
we,
take.
what
with
is,
it.
what are we discussing? Are we discussing banners? Are we discussing new flags? Are we discussing lights? We're discussing the building? We discussing Cofield Lab? Like,
So for discussion points, we priced out some trees last week. This happened to be a thought in our head on Monday.
Okay.
And we found some that were relatively reasonable, the 12 to 14 foot height for the atrium. The glass section is 16 feet high.
So we got 14 foot.
12 to 14 feet will fill that space. I may or may not have had an outlet installed up there in the last week. In the budget. And so anywhere from, what was our prices on 800 to $1,500 for a pre-lit tree for the atrium.
So that's one item.
That's one item.
A pre-lit tree to hang in the atrium in the building here.
Yep.
Okay, so another thought by the village president is possibly a banner going across Schofield.
No banner, no banner.
I was just giving you ideas and.
I'm just saying where the flags are out on Schofield Avenue now, you know, maybe some lights up there, but.
I
But
think
I'm
something
lighted.
similar to what Wassa does on Stewart Avenue and that stretch of Schofield Ave would look very nice.
I would also say, we haven't bought the tree, right? So I mean, some are gorgeous and some aren't. And you know, from that road, and I know you want some look from it here, and it's just lit. Well, the worst thing to do is put a 16-foot high pole and then put a rod on the bottom, whether you want to make it curved or not, and you just run lights down to it. You know?
They actually make those that we purchased, and those are less than a tree. As far
Well,
as,
actually, when I look at them every year, they're very expensive. I've often thought of just building it myself, but I don't know if I can handle that.
Yep, good. There's a nice tree on Schofield Avenue on the school side. Is that ours or that's the school?
Schofield Avenue.
Beautiful Christmas tree.
Oh, to decorate it, you mean?
Yes,
Put
but
lights on it?
I'm not sure
Cut it
that's
down and put it
ours
right
or
here.
the school.
School.
where?
By the middle school?
Weston School Elementary.
Weston Elementary?
Yeah, on Weston Avenue.
If it's on the north side, it's us. If it's on their side, it'd be theirs, right?
So you're talking a whole nother thing there.
Yeah.
No, there is one in there. It just stand up pretty nicely.
Yeah, but those are actually installed by the village.
I don't know if it's ours.
Those are actually installed by the village for the school. But we did the fencing project, the landscaping, intersection redesign, quite a few years ago. It was all part of a deal when that whole.
We might be a tad late even considering this, because we might rush into this.
We might.
So do we spend, you know, a year?
I think the main focus, as far as I know, was just the tree here. Yeah. I don't think there was any discussion of doing anything else, like really, at this point. We did bring up that the fact that there's outlets on what? 24 of the short little poles at the Birch Street and Alderson intersections. That's it. That's where the electricity is. It's not like every
Not,
banner.
not all the
pole.
other ones, okay.
Each median
There's-
has
In the
receptacles
middle,
on it.
well, but they're pretty much not in, they're not worth it.
I know what you're talking.
Can we hang some wreaths from those poles?
Yeah.
And something like
We
that.
have banners, holiday
Light 'em up.
banners.
We have holiday banners, right?
We did, we just haven't put them up for a
So
while.
who changes those?
We Park Department did, and to limit the amount of time we were physically using to change 164 banners.
Yeah.
4 times a year. They were with one new banner, and it's been up year round.
Those are Western.
Yeah, the current ones. Because we had draft banners, we had holiday banners, we had standard banners, and we were changing them 4 times a year.
Okay, so can I make a request?
And 3 to 4 days per time.
So you guys usually do it though. You guys have the truck to.
It's a bucket truck, yeah.
So, I make, I guess, a request to the staff with this motion to come back with at least some estimates to if we're gonna change out the banners, time
We
frame.
have the banners.
Right,
We have 88 of the,
I'm sorry. So if we're able to change out the banners and how many of the poles are lit and if we're able to throw a lit wreath up there, options, I don't know, options. Just give us ideas of what you guys, what we could take action on.
Too quick.
I agree, but I would like to see some cost estimates on what it would
Yeah,
cost to do like lights on the
Yeah.
24 poles that are lit
Yeah,
or however.
exactly.
however you-
we pretty much have missed the boat as far as ordering stuff and getting it
Oh,
at a decent
absolutely.
price. Because I've been getting flyers for the past 5-6 months with all the sales for all the decoration companies that send me stuff currently.
Can we just approve them doing a tree up in the thing
Maybe change the
and
banners?
then go for next year as far as what we
All right.
want for Christmas?
Yep, I'm afraid to bring this up, but are we doing colored or clear?
That
is a huge question.
The one I found, you could change it to any colors that you wanted.
Remote control.
All lights matter, Mark.
Oh, yeah. I can see already that's gonna be on your side.
But that would be my suggestion, just do the tree this year and we'll get prices for
So what's the
next
motion?
fall.
What's the motion?
That's the motion.
You
We'll
just did it?
Yeah,
We're doing the tree?
we're doing a tree for the municipal center and getting prices
For next year.
For next year.
By Ermeling?
Second.
On the banners?
No banners.
Second on, excuse me, second by Cronin, on the discussion. On the discussion.
Jamie, what were you gonna say?
Just if it was gonna be reusable items.
Oh, the tree, yes.
Reusable garland or
Yeah.
wreaths or, you know.
We weren't even sure if we were just, like, we were talking about just lighting it.
Just the
Just
tree.
having a tree there.
Does you understand anything you put out on the road, it's salt on it?
No, this is not going on the road.
No,
It's
I know,
going
just up here. That's.
Decorated or
I know, a lot of complaints that it's only on Schofield Avenue, maybe we should do the snow plow trucks. I'm done. I'm done. So we have a motion and a second, with no more discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so carried. 57, discussion and or action on Weston School, Caution School Zone flashing lights. I kind of sprung this on Michael a little bit, but, I know, but.
But there's no more.
Oh, okay, then discussion. Okay. Motion by Zagami.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't even know what we're approving.
Yeah.
What are we approving?
We already have them.
That's what I'm gonna tell you. So, I've had some calls, especially my wife, and doesn't understand why the lights are 25 feet in the air. Maybe they're 15, I'm exaggerating. So I actually drove around, and then the big one for me that always stands out is St. Anne's over on Bridge Street. And I drove through there several times. I didn't notice the middle ones, because the ones on top are about as high as ours. I went through it at a school zone one day, and they have these little rectangular, it's almost like they're taking your picture. And I think that might be the design of it, but when that school zone's gone on, let me tell you, you cannot mistake that that's going on along with the yellow ones. So it's not like we put 2 big yellow ones in the middle, like 6 or 8 feet or whatever the height is. But maybe we could look at those little rectangular ones that are on both sides. I drove around everywhere, tried to find them in use and going on, and you gotta really speed.
Talking school
You gotta
zones,
speed
huh?
really fast to get there because they're all in the same zone, so I had to do some afternoons and some mornings.
And I did talk to Scott, we right now they're set at the maximum height, his
Right.
thought was
Oh.
for, so you can see it, kind of like, it's.
Yeah,
so it's
from a
it's
distance.
Traffic signal height, so we can lower it 3 feet, that's kind of the range.
Yeah, but so many of them were added though. It had them up there and then it had another set there. I just didn't know if he had the pole electrified. We only have 2 poles.
Yeah,
We don't have a cross member. We're not getting any more, right? That's it.
that's what the board approved, yeah, I mean, if we wanna add more.
It's not a whole lot of stuff out there and that's a very, very busy in the morning. I mean, I don't know who drives through there. I drive through it all the time. And that's a ton of traffic. So anyway, but maybe a roundabout will help. So, yeah, so just, if you could just add more, I guess that would be my
So you
request.
want to have one more light, like underneath where the sign is, or an extra sign that?
Not a signs,
Rectangle
light.
Rectangle bar, like a hawk light or something, okay.
I don't know. I see them on your trucks everywhere, all the time. So they're really cool.
And we'll see what the.
Just,
how to
nothing
program
too
it.
expensive, but I just think to draw a little bit more attention.
So I'll second that motion to add the second light below the, or at.
On both sides, okay.
No signs.
Second by Pincinel.
Who made the original
I
motion?
didn't hear.
Lonnie.
Sure. Yep, I thought you did, Hussein.
I did.
Yeah, Hussein made the motion, Pincinel made the second.
Yeah.
We're in discussion and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so carried.
It's gonna take about. No, we were just saying, Scott was gonna cut him off last week.
58.
Sorry, tell him tomorrow not to do anything.
58, he's probably out there right now, 58. Discussion and or action. Discussion and or action on board, commission, committee attendance at meetings via Zoom. This is me, and I had a Public Works committee member, this is the second or third time that they've contacted me, and he just doesn't feel without people being here or not, and I thought, well, we gotta make that decision ourselves as the trustees. So I think it's getting more and more, I mean, we've got some committee members that since I've been here on this last round here, I've not seen a committee member here. And so I would be for being present. The last time I missed a meeting was our waste management contract. I was in Vegas and I could have called in, I could have voted, it would have swung the vote, but I didn't feel it was right. And I didn't call and vote. And so I don't know what, it's up for discussion. It's not, it doesn't have to have action tonight. I just want to make sure everyone feels the same way.
I would just like some clarification on the attendance. Because some of these meetings start at 4:30 in the afternoon. And there's times I'm on a job site till 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And there's times I'm at a job site at 5 o'clock in the morning and I don't leave until 11 at night. It's just unfortunate. I call in, I do my damnedest. I think I've maybe missed one meeting in the last year and a half. So I guess I want some clarification that meetings via Zoom.
Well, okay,
negatively
so the last Public Works Committee meeting, right?
Yes, that was her.
You were on Zoom.
I was on Zoom and I showed up 20 minutes later.
Okay.
Nobody else was there.
Yeah,
Except
okay.
for one of the committee members.
Louis was
Okay,
here.
so I called in, I talked to him. I was racing here from the job site because I realized he was literally the only one here.
You don't have to have an excuse for your job or what everybody does. Whether you have a job, whether you don't have a job, whether your kids, it doesn't matter what's important in our lives, because whatever's important in our lives, that's what it is. I'm just saying, are we getting a little out of hand on the Zoom?
I think so.
I think there's, I mean, we had a safer meeting earlier this week that we didn't have quorum for.
Steve and I have been to every safer meeting and it's amazes me that, and this is on, they can watch this if they want, but we're station number 2. We're paying 70% of the bill. And we're station number 2. And I don't think we've ever missed a meeting. And it's just, I feel disappointed for you and the chief, the deputy chief and anyone involved, so we're there and then, people don't show or just call me, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Didn't happen. So we all have reasons and that's okay. But do we allow the Zoom? We don't allow Zoom on closed sessions. And I wonder if we should take it further. You gotta be present. If you vacation all winter in Florida, that's the way it is. Maybe you shouldn't run, maybe you can run, maybe you won't get voted in. I have no idea. So I don't know how the town of Weston does it. I don't know how other municipalities around here do it with, I know that some of them are going up quite a bit.
You don't use them.
Yeah, I know they don't. I didn't think so either.
Just does everything before it leaves.
Right, yep. So, and that's fine. So I don't know if we can do that with the size of our
Do
community.
we need a policy?
You know, we don't need to do this right now. So this is something that it's not right now. We're in the middle of it. We've been doing it for years. I just think we should all think about it and decide if we need a policy or decide what we can do.
It came up a lot. We were on a bunch of those calls early in COVID. How they were handling that. And some communities do have policies and they won't allow people to go. I mean, there's some people who have really strong feelings about it. If you're gonna be on a board, you need to be present. You need to be here.
Yeah, how do we know
You
that it's
don't know if
you
you've
make,
left
that it's
the room.
just, no offense, I'm just, how do we know that it's you online that's actually making that vote, not someone
Well,
that?
the way that they do it at the county is you have to have approval at least so many hours before that if you're gonna vote. Now, you can be in attendance, but you can't vote. If you have a prior approval because if you're sick or whatever, then you can attend and vote. But they have an attendance policy, so if you don't call, you don't show up, not there person, you don't call in, you're not via Zoom, then you're absent.
And that's what we should probably look at.
I think we just mirror what the county is.
The COVID thing, that was totally different. I mean, we
Yeah.
had to do what we had to do. We learned some things on some league things that we understood that you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't be here. Closed session is just a no-no. And I think we're really good at that. But I think we should just kind of all look at what, we all think and go from there. And I would like staff to jump in on this too. Whether anonymously or not.
Can we direct staff to draft a policy?
Mirroring the county.
And then, so they're gonna go through all the work and then we're gonna say yay or nay?
No, I just say, just take the county's policy and incorporate it to the village.
Yeah.
If that's.
Michael?
I was just gonna say, I don't know if all the trustees know, we do have the ability to have trustees sit in on committee meetings. If we're not gonna reach quorum, I know Steve did that at
Oh, no,
a,
we know.
at a finance meeting.
We just talked about that like a year or two ago, that if there's someone here, that's, like Lauren used to always be here. I used to attend more and I'm going to start again, but
So I guess that'd be.
that helps out a ton.
As long as we know attendance ahead of time and, that allows staff then to say, okay, let's see if any trustees are available. And
How would that work it safer? Could one of our trustees sit in? Oh, we can have quorum. That would get real sketchy. if it's just two of us.
Can I make a suggestion too? A lot of times it comes up that you guys are kind of talking to each other. You should really talk to whoever the clerk is of the meeting so that they're aware of who's gonna be there. So that we can let somebody else know that maybe you can
That's a good
come.
point.
Because otherwise at HR meeting, we were calling, trying to get people to get there. Cause we do spend a lot of time on agendas and you guys spend a lot of time reading things.
And it's not your department, it's not, Michael for Public Works, it's not Jen for planning, it's Pam for everything, everything. You reach out to Pam, Rachel or Sarah, and done, that covers the entire board, right?
Well, like at finance, that one, we knew we weren't gonna have a quorum down. That's why I appointed Steve to fill in. for you.
Yep.
And it worked out fine, but, yeah, whenever I get an agenda for almost anything, I plan on being there, and if something changes, I will let them know. I don't ever just let them assume I'm going to be here.
So it's just food for thought, that's all it is. We don't have to have discussion or action.
I think we should make a motion on this. I'm ready.
Yeah.
What, just what
I'd
you
like to
said?
have, are you guys okay with that? Can
I'm
we have
just
you draft
concerned
a
about
policy?
committee members not showing up. Just my concern is it
It's
are they
across the
in
board,
for a
across the
resume?
board. Yep.
So
I will be replacing every year people that don't show up, that aren't elected. Every year I'll do it. And you've seen me do it. They have a 2 or 3 year term and I'm replacing, because if they're not showing up, they're not gonna be here.
I'll make a motion to direct staff to draft an attendance policy for board and commission and committee attendance based off a combination of the county, the city, the village of Cronewetter, and the village of Rothschild.
Cronin, really? Okay, all right, so.
I'll second that.
A motion by Cronin, second by Pincinel. Any more in the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Did you have remote in?
Oh.
We gotta include our partners. So guess, the two partner communities that we partner with, we don't have in there. We don't have Schofield or we don't have remote.
We always look at surrounding.
All right,
Or
so,
surrounding areas.
even the neglect of not stating the right municipalities, we're gonna take care of that. All right, Mom, did you hear that? All right, you heard that, Mom? Okay.
Posthumously add remote.
Yeah. They, and we have a little party with the family. This one here gets only one hot dog. All right. So we got that one done. Motion to move to closed session. Do you wanna take a little break first or no?
Can we take care of the staff referrals and stuff before we go to closed session?
Sure. All right, let's see, attorney referrals, none, staff referrals.
I'll start.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to request that, that agenda item, that we have an agenda item put on for the fees for the assessments added back on for the November meeting. I want to revisit that conversation. And then number two, where are we at with drafting a policy for the use of the training room, boardroom for the municipal center? That came up earlier tonight. And you can,
I think the.
did we approve a policy or?
No, just for the blood drives.
I thought at one point in time that we were talking about maybe not renting, but the use of the hall, that was something that was gonna come to the board on a
Case by
case by case thing. It wasn't going to be.
Because I think Valerie had drafted a policy.
Valerie has one for blood drives and it of course does the ones that she does.
She had originally done one, I think, for everything. And then when it came to the board, you guys said that you just like her event because she
I
was
know at one
there.
time there was discussion about having a policy drafted. I don't know where we were at with that.
But a policy drafted also means to tell 15,000 residents that we have, we have an option. And I'm just gonna tell you, who's cleaning it, who's this, who's that, who's staying, who's got the keys, all that. I've seen the other place get completely demolished, tables completely demolished.
Yeah.
And I just don't see it. We've been requested to have card days and coffee times and all these different things. Don't agree. That's my opinion.
Well, I think we had a that policy was there and we elected not to have a formal policy. We said we want everything to come to the board individually and we would decide.
That's fine. This just came back up, so I wanted to ask. I didn't.
Well, maybe that's our policy.
She was moving forward.
Okay.
Because our policy is case by case.
So staff referrals,
I'm good.
Anybody else? Nope, okay. Remarks from trustees, and or no, you wanna finish it right there? Yeah, go ahead.
Michael.
Yes.
He's striped the Ross Avenue from Cam Phillips and Ross to First Street, right? You have arrow on the side of the bicyclists and all that, they all disappeared. Can you put them back in there?
Yeah, we ordered stencils for that. I don't know if they came in yet or not.
From where to where?
From intersection of Cam Phillips and.
Over to Birch, Weston Birch.
Oh, yeah, that's all really bright there, but it's being dull. I don't know, are we gonna paint Ross to the bridge or no?
Next year, the plan is to do the same kind of asphalt sealant over it.
Oh, I see.
There, and then we'll refreshen up the lights.
It's nice with the lights are on, cause it reflects, but it's not that good. Okay.
So we're gonna put them back.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
say, I drove past the
Yep.
safety building tonight and I was looking at it and it looks very good and I appreciate the work that these have done to get this going and to get it done at a price that.
Yeah,
isn't
very
gonna-
manageable. And when the color hits in a couple weeks, right? Couple weeks, the color will hit the red and the blue. It's gonna be marvelous. And some signs taken down, yeah. All right, any more? Any remarks, Ned? So you want
I have one thing quick, Mark, that I forgot to say before, just so the board is aware, I will be out of town starting tomorrow morning. I will be back late Friday night. I'll actually be in Kentucky. And Eric, the deputy chief, is also, he's in Maryland for training. So we are both out of town all week, but we have arrangements with 3 battalion chiefs. They're obviously on duty, but then the ones even that are off duty are aware that we're both gone. So if anything big happens, they're
Super. Thank you.
We're totally SOL.
No, no.
more than capable.
Nope, that's right. All right, motion to move into closed session?
Otherwise, I could probably do this in a quick 5-minute synopsis and you done? Or unless you want me.
Oh, I'm totally fine with that.
Okay.
With this here?
Correct.
Absolutely,
Session on?
yeah.
Open
No, we're
session?
gonna stay open.
I think we can do it in open.
Yep, fine, I'm good with that. Okay, super, thank you very much.
Yeah, so I sent over some of the information over the weekend. We got these notices from DuPont and 3M. And I guess the class action settlements that are out there. There are some work papers you can start putting together to get an estimate of what you may be eligible for. So we're gonna be working on getting that number together to see kind of what that estimate is. I believe Attorney Eady has reached out to some of our neighboring communities. I talked with the Village of Red Mountain, kind of have an idea of what they're doing. There's a couple environmental law firms that have reached out. There's a webinar this Wednesday that I'll be, I guess, watching, interacting, seeing what kind of the advice they're giving people is. I know some of the communities that are opting out have a kind of a more direct correlation. So there's a well that's contaminated and right next door is the airport that had firefighting foam. So there's a direct correlation. So they're very confident they can go after that entity individually. I don't believe we have that situation necessarily here where we have something that's right next to one of our water sources. It's just kind of generally in the groundwater. So I guess we're looking into more options here as far as what staying in looks like, or what, trying to go at it alone or with a smaller group would be, but
You wanna go in on the class action.
so you're automatically included in on the class action suit.
If you do nothing.
If you do nothing, we're included in.
Okay.
We have to notify them that we want out, if we want to be out.
Prior to December.
Prior to December 4th and December 11th are the 2 dates.
Probably if we'd opted out and tried to do something, we'd spend more money on attorneys than.
Yeah.
That was my thought too.
I can jump in, Michael, if you want. I don't know if it's something that.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. So it's multi-district litigation is what it is. So we're not a party to the case. There is a settlement law, and they're trying to get the settlement approved as a class action settlement. So that's why we have to opt out. Otherwise, we're gonna be included in it. But we're not in the lawsuit. So that's one of the things you have to decide whether you want to get involved in the lawsuit or not. The 2 settlements, DuPont is really a little one. They're $1.185 billion. Is about 3 to 7% of the total liability. And there is a matrix that you can calculate what your points might be. That depends on how many people opt in. And if not enough people stay in. If not enough people stay in, then the settlement, DuPont has the right to negate the settlement. So it just depends on how many people are in, whether the settlement will continue. And the other one, the 3M one, is the big one. That's 10.5 billion to 12.5 billion, depending on what happens with the number of claims. And so that's probably, if I do the math right, about 30 to 84% of the total liability potential based on the estimates. So that 3M settlement is going to be a large one. That's going to be a big one when it comes to the settlement of these types of cases. Now, this is the first wave. This is the fire suppression piece. And so there's expected to be a second wave of litigation for all of the other PFAS, for all of the other products. So PFAS is in paper, non-stick paper, it's in, frying pans that are non-stick, all your pans. So all of these other products have PFAS in it too. So McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, all that paper you see that doesn't allow your sandwich or your taco to stick to the paper, has PFAS. And so that's expected to be the second wave. And again, I think we have to determine what the costs are going to be to clean up the problem and then decide whether we think we need to get more involved in litigation. Now, because we're not in the litigation, we benefit from settlements because we can participate in that. There are bumpers, there are increased allocations that parties can get if they're in the lawsuit. But if the case doesn't settle and it goes to trial, we're not gonna share in any of the proceeds from that verdict. It's just gonna be whatever case is tried. So there are statute of limitations issues. If we're not in the lawsuit or have filed a lawsuit against whoever we believe is responsible, at some point, we're not gonna be able to do that. Usually the statute of limitations in a product liability case is 3 years from the date of discovery or only reason which is discovered the contamination and the connection. So, again, depending on what those costs are and whether we think we're gonna get our costs back from these settlements here, if we don't think we are, we probably need to look at other options. Now, attorneys can be expensive, that is true. But all of these whenever it reaches the stage of multi-district litigation class action, the first thing they decide on are the attorney fees. So the attorney fees get taken out, they have to be approved by the court, but they all get taken out for all the parties who are represented before any of the parties receive any of the money left over. So whether you're represented or not, the attorney fees are coming off the settlement, and what's ever left over is gonna be distributed to the parties that are, that qualify, those that are represented, those that aren't. So.
I guess, yeah, we've got a little more homework to do, but just wanted to make you aware of it and bring it back probably next month.
All right, staff, remarks from trustees. Any more remarks from anybody? None from me. Thank you all for your hard work. I think we're doing a good job. There's definitely a vibe in Weston. I mean, that's a lot for someone my age to say, but I mean, just to see all the construction happening and it's just exciting. I'm not kidding you. And if you haven't tried Fuzzy's tacos, shame on you. I thought it was very good. And the wait is worth it. So if it takes an hour and a half, that's tough. But otherwise, great job. Enjoy the rest of your, Halloween's coming up, right? So happy Halloween. Future meeting date is Monday, November 20th, unless we have possible finance with budget. Otherwise, entertaining a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion.
By Hardinger, second by Cronin, sorry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried 9:02. We are adjourned.
What is going on?